Every year, millions of people pay to shop at Costco, yet most of them don't realize they're missing out on perks that could save them hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Some items are practically free, some prices appear only once before disappearing forever, and some benefits haven't even been tapped by longtime members. Watch until the end, because the final tips are the ones that truly make people stop in their tracks when they learn the truth. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 20. Executive membership can be free. Many people see the $130 annual executive fee and immediately shake their heads. But there's one number that might change your mind once you run it. Executive members earn 2% back on nearly all qualifying purchases throughout the year. If your total spending reaches around $3,000 annually, roughly $250 per month, that reward can offset the entire upgrade difference. Now look at real life. A family of 3 or 4 buying groceries weekly, filling up on gas, replacing tires, purchasing electronics, or booking vacations through Costco Travel. Reaching $3,000 a year isn't difficult. In fact, many families exceed that amount without even noticing. When the year-end reward check arrives, some are surprised to see it total several $100s. What makes it even more compelling is the policy. If your 2% reward doesn't cover the upgrade cost, Costco will refund the difference. That means the risk is almost zero, assuming you qualify. You either come out ahead or you don't pay extra. Executive isn't for everyone. If you only visit Costco a few times a year, a standard membership may be sufficient. But if Costco is your household's primary shopping destination, not upgrading can sometimes be the more expensive choice. 19. The secret language of price endings. If you've ever walked past a deeply discounted item and wondered why the price looked so oddly specific, you may have missed a crucial signal. Costco has a secret language, hidden in the last 2 digits of its price tags. A price ending in .97 is rarely random. It typically signals a manager markdown, meaning the warehouse wants the item gone as quickly as possible. Prices ending in .49, .69, or .79 are often manufacturer-sponsored promotions, and when you see .00 or .88, it usually indicates a floor model or a returned item that has been inspected and repriced with a special adjustment. Even more important, if you spot a small asterisk in the corner of the price tag, it means the item is being discontinued. When a .97 price appears alongside that asterisk, you're looking at the final stage of that product's life cycle, the moment when Costco prioritizes clearing shelf space over maximizing profit. 18. Pharmacy prices. Up to 50% lower, no membership required. This is one of the biggest surprises for many people. In many U.S. states, you can use the Costco pharmacy without being a member. And prescription prices here are often 30%, even up to 50% lower than major chains like CVS or Walgreens. Costco doesn't heavily promote this because pharmacy services aren't designed to drive impulse shopping. However, if you or your family take medications regularly, saving a few dozen each month can easily add up to hundreds of dollars per year. What's interesting is that many people pay for a membership, yet never think to compare prescription prices here. 17 30-day price adjustment refund. Have you ever bought something only to return a few weeks later and see it marked down? At most retailers, that's simply bad luck. But at Costco, if the price drops within 30 days of your purchase, you can request a refund for the difference. Not store credit, not reward points, actual money refunded back to you. What's surprising is how many shoppers never take advantage of this. They assume it's already bought, so it's too late, when in reality, it only takes a few minutes at the customer service desk to recover money you didn't need to spend. For higher ticket items like electronics, appliances, or a set of tires, the difference can be tens or even hundreds of dollars. The key is monitoring prices after you buy. If you notice a drop within 30 days, request the adjustment. This isn't a loophole, it's official policy. Once you understand this, you no longer worry about buying at the wrong time. You're purchasing with a built-in layer of protection, an advantage not every retailer offers. 16. No need to keep paper receipts. If you're still stuffing paper receipts into your wallet or drawer just in case, you can stop. Every Costco transaction is recorded in the system through your membership account. That means if you need to make a return, verify a price, or request a price adjustment, they can access your full purchase history. This eliminates the stress of keeping track of paper receipts that can fade or get lost. More importantly, it gives you leverage when using Costco's return policy or price adjustment benefit. Many customers forget they already have a complete purchase record stored in the system. 15. Recognizing loss leaders. The $5 rotisserie chicken and the $1.50 hot dog combo aren't just great deals, they're strategic loss leaders. Costco accepts extremely low margins, sometimes nearly no profit at all, on these items to get you inside the warehouse. Once you're in, the psychology shifts. Since I'm already here, I might as well grab a few more things. You head to the back of the store for the chicken, and on the way back, your cart slowly fills up. The strategy isn't to avoid buying them, but to walk in with a clear objective. If you're there just for the rotisserie chicken, go straight to the back, grab what you need, and head directly to checkout. And interestingly, there are even more strategies that can help you maximize every Costco trip. Strategies most shoppers rarely notice. That's the next secret you won't want to miss. 14. A return policy that's almost unmatched. This is what surprises many first-time shoppers. At Costco, you can return almost anything if you're not satisfied, even if it's been opened, used, or you simply changed your mind. With the exception of certain categories like electronics, which carry a 90-day limit, most products are not bound by strict time restrictions like they are at many other retailers. That means if you buy a household item, try it, and decide it's not the right fit, you can return it. If you bring home a bag of fruit and discover it's spoiled, Costco will refund you. There have even been cases of customers returning seasonal items once they no longer needed them. What's truly remarkable isn't just the ability to return items, it's the level of trust Costco places in its customers. The company prioritizes long-term loyalty over forcing shoppers to absorb the risk. Once you understand this policy, every purchase feels far less stressful. 13. Kirkland, the private label. That's 20 to 30% less. Many people see the Kirkland label and assume it's simply a budget private label. But there's a reality that changes that perception. Behind many Kirkland products are major manufacturers you've trusted for years. From batteries, diapers, coffee, olive oil, and nuts to wine, numerous items are produced by well-known brands, just packaged under the Kirkland name instead of a familiar logo. The difference lies in the business model. Kirkland doesn't spend heavily on advertising, doesn't rely on expensive marketing campaigns, and sells directly within the Costco ecosystem. As a result, prices are often 20 to 30% lower than comparable products on the broader retail market. When you compare ingredients, sourcing, and quality standards, many Kirkland items truly match, and sometimes even exceed, their name brand counterparts found at other stores. The key isn't to buy everything labeled Kirkland, but to evaluate and compare. When you read the label carefully, review the ingredients, and consider the manufacturer behind the product, you realize you're paying for quality, not for the brand printed on the packaging. For strategic shoppers, Kirkland isn't the cheaper choice, it's the smarter one. 12. Costco Next, deep discounts from major brands. Most members are used to shopping inside the warehouse and assume that's the entire Costco universe. But there's a second door that few people walk through. Costco Next. This isn't a section inside the warehouse. It's an online platform that allows you to use your membership to purchase directly from major brand websites at exclusive Costco member pricing. What surprises many shoppers is that discounts can reach 20%, 30%, even 40% compared to standard retail prices listed on the brand's website or in showrooms. You still receive the product directly from the manufacturer, but at pricing negotiated through Costco's large membership base. Costco Next often features brands in categories such as luggage, kitchen equipment, electronics, furniture, and even premium personal care products. Because not everyone knows about this platform, it doesn't attract the same attention as in-warehouse displays. The key is simple. If you're planning to purchase a high-ticket item, don't limit your search to the warehouse floor. Check Costco Next first. A single click could mean saving several $100s on the exact same product. Like the video if this surprised you. 11. Costco Direct. Save $100 to $400 when you bundle. Many people buy a refrigerator today, a few weeks later purchase a washer, and only afterwards start thinking about a sofa. What they don't realize is that by combining those items into one order, they could save several $100s instantly. Costco Direct works on a simple principle. Buy 2 or more qualifying large items within the same promotion, and you receive an automatic discount of $100, $200, or even $400 depending on the quantity. What's important is that this isn't a hidden promo code or a hard-to-find offer. It's clearly displayed on the website. Yet many shoppers overlook it because they purchase big-ticket items separately as needs arise. When you plan major purchases around the same time, the savings essentially become a built-in bonus for your household budget. With high-value items, a few $100s is not insignificant. Sometimes the difference between a standard receipt and an optimized one comes down to buying together instead of spacing purchases out. 10. Pay $80 for $100 in gift card value. There's an area inside Costco that many people walk past without stopping, and it's where you can effectively buy money below face value. When you see a $100 gift card bundle priced at around $80, you're locking in an immediate 20% savings before spending a single dollar. No coupon codes. No waiting for a sale. The savings are secured at checkout. The key is choosing places you know you'll use: a favorite restaurant, a local bakery, family services, or brands you regularly visit. In that case, a gift card isn't extra spending. It's optimizing expenses you already planned. If you consistently use a few of these each month, the annual savings can easily add up to several $100s. 9. Gift cards for essential services. It doesn't stop at restaurants or dining. Costco also sells gift cards for services you're almost certain to spend money on during the year, including airfare, travel packages, spa services, car washes, and even family entertainment. Discounts often range from 20% to 25% below face value. That means, if you already know you'll take at least one flight this year, purchasing a discounted gift card up front allows you to lock in savings immediately. There's no need to wait for promotions or search for last-minute coupon codes. You simply pay less for a service you already intended to use. Gift cards only provide real value when they're tied to services you're certain to need. In that case, you're turning an unavoidable expense into a strategic one. If you spend several $1,000s a year on travel or personal services, a 20% discount is no small number. It can translate into hundreds, even over $1,000 in savings. Instead of spending first and searching for ways to save later, you save at the very first point of payment. When applied consistently, essential service gift cards are no longer a small trick. They become part of a smarter household financial strategy. 8. Timing your tire purchase with the rotation cycle. Replacing tires is one of those expenses that can seriously strain your budget, with total costs reaching several hundred or even over $1,000. What many people don't realize is that tire promotions at Costco typically rotate between major brands like Michelin and Bridgestone. If Michelin is offering $150 off a set this month, there's a strong chance Bridgestone will run a similar promotion the following month. The key isn't chasing a specific brand, it's timing the purchase. If you know your tires are nearing replacement, waiting a few weeks could save you hundreds of dollars without sacrificing quality. These promotions usually include installation, balancing, and comprehensive warranty coverage, helping you avoid additional hidden fees elsewhere. When you replace tires during the right promotional cycle, you can save a significant amount without negotiating. Many people replace them as soon as necessary without checking the sales schedule. By monitoring the website or asking the auto center in advance, you can plan strategically. 7. Use the app to avoid impulse buying. Here's something many shoppers overlook. Costco is intentionally designed to make you wander more than you expect. Product locations frequently change, aisles are wide, and featured items are placed prominently in high-traffic areas, all encouraging you to add unplanned items to your cart. Adding just $20 to $30 each visit because it's convenient can significantly increase your annual spending. That's why the Costco app becomes such an effective control tool. When you check inventory in advance, review prices online, save your shopping list, and stick to it, you enter the warehouse with a clear strategy instead of relying on emotion. The app tells you exactly what you need, how much it costs, and whether it's on sale before attractive displays influence your decisions. Smart shoppers don't wander for inspiration. They walk in with a purpose. And when you combine the app with in-warehouse technology, the shopping experience becomes even more efficient. 6. Prescan technology for faster checkout. If you've ever stood in a long Costco line, assuming it's unavoidable, Prescan technology may surprise you. Employees use handheld devices to scan the items in your cart while you're still waiting. By the time you reach the register, you simply swipe your card and complete the transaction in seconds. The trick is organizing your cart strategically. Keep barcodes facing up, especially on heavy items like cases of water or large bags of rice at the bottom. This not only speeds up the process but also reduces the need for repeated lifting. 5. Extended warranty when paying with the Costco Visa. When purchasing a TV, laptop, or other high-ticket appliances, most people focus only on the listed price and overlook a factor that could save hundreds of dollars later: warranty coverage. Here's something not everyone knows. When you pay with the Costco Anywhere Visa card, you may receive extended warranty protection beyond the manufacturer's standard coverage. That means if your product experiences issues after the original warranty expires, you may still have an added layer of protection. For high-value electronics, just one out-of-warranty repair can easily cost several $100s. Extending coverage through your payment method can provide similar benefits without purchasing a separate, costly extended warranty plan. What's notable is that many shoppers willingly pay extra for extended warranties at checkout, not realizing their payment method may already offer comparable protection. When you combine the manufacturer's warranty, Costco's return policy, and the Visa card benefits, you effectively create 3 layers of protection for a single purchase. 4. Enter without a membership card. Most people assume you must have a Costco membership to walk through the doors. But there's a lesser-known fact. If you have a valid Costco shop card, gift card, you can enter and make purchases even if you're not a member. This surprises many shoppers who believe access is limited strictly to paid members. The process is straightforward. With a valid shop card, you're allowed to enter the warehouse and pay using that card. Many people use this method to experience Costco before deciding whether to purchase a membership or to shop on behalf of family members. Of course, you must still follow each warehouse's policies, but in principle, the gift card opens a side door that not everyone realizes exists. The next insights may shift the way you see Costco entirely, where shopping isn't just spending, but a strategic advantage when you understand how the system works. 3. Costco Business Center. Restaurant-size quantities. If you think you've seen everything Costco has to offer, the Costco Business Center may change your perspective. This isn't just a slightly bigger warehouse. It's an entirely different environment. Here, you'll find products in sizes that typical grocery stores simply don't carry. Massive containers of sauce, 25 to 50-pound bags of rice, full primal cuts of meat intended for restaurants, and specialty food items rarely seen in traditional Costco locations. What surprises many people is that individual consumers can shop there as well. It's not limited to restaurant owners. If you have a large family, host big gatherings, or prefer buying in bulk for long-term savings, the Business Center offers a different kind of cost optimization. The carts are larger, the layout is more streamlined, and the focus is on practicality rather than eye-catching displays. 2. Save over $500 a year with Costco insurance. Most people walk into Costco to buy groceries, electronics, or household goods, but few think about insurance. Here's a fact that surprises many members. Through its partner network, Costco provides access to auto and home insurance plans that are often significantly more competitive than standard market rates. For many families, the savings can exceed $500 per year. The advantage isn't just in the number, it's in the structure. Because Costco negotiates on behalf of a large membership base, rates are often more optimized than policies purchased individually through traditional agents. Executive members may receive even greater benefits. This isn't a promotion displayed at the warehouse entrance. So many shoppers never think to compare. But if you're paying monthly insurance premiums and haven't evaluated Costco's option, you could be overlooking substantial savings. 1. Hunting for roadshows. If you've ever noticed a temporary booth appearing in the middle of a Costco warehouse and disappearing a few weeks later, that's not random merchandising. It's a roadshow, Special Roadshow, special limited-time events where major brands bring premium products directly into the warehouse for live demonstrations. What many people don't realize is that roadshow pricing is often lower than standard retail pricing, sometimes discounted an additional $50 to $150 on the same item. Beyond direct discounts, many brands also include exclusive bundled accessories available only during the event. A blender may come with an extra attachment, a cookware set may include upgraded glass lids, or a mattress may feature complimentary sleep accessories. Once the roadshow ends, those added incentives leave with the booth. The key is that roadshows do not run year-round. They typically last 1 to 2 weeks at each warehouse location. If you monitor the event schedule through the website or mobile app, you can strategically time your purchase of higher-ticket items for maximum savings. These strategies directly impact the money in your account. Simply timing your tire replacement correctly, using discounted gift cards, or requesting price adjustments can help you retain hundreds, even thousands of dollars each year. When you add insurance savings, cashback rewards, and roadshow promotions, the total becomes significant. The difference isn't whether you shop at Costco, it's whether you know how to shop there strategically. Which money-saving tip in this video surprised you the most? You're about to spend $2,000 to $3,000 on a new refrigerator? Hold on. In 2026, buying a fridge in the US is no longer as simple as choosing the size and color. Many models look like spaceships, packed with screens and sensors, yet they can suddenly fail right after the warranty expires. And at Costco, where the deals look too good to pass up, the real question is, are you buying long-term peace of mind or an expensive gamble? You'd be awesome if you liked this video. Refrigerators you should avoid. Risk segment. 1. Hisense, budget models. If you think the real risk lies with $3,000 high-tech refrigerators, you're looking in the wrong direction. The real shock of 2026 comes from sub-$1,000 Hisense models that look like absolute steals. Spacious French doors, shiny stainless steel, and a capacity nearly matching premium models, at half the price. Standing in front of that price tag, it's hard not to feel like you found a rare bargain. But the truth reveals itself in how that fridge performs after a few months. The biggest issue isn't the exterior, it's temperature stability. A good refrigerator should maintain nearly constant cooling 24/7. With several budget Hisense models over the past 2 years, independent testing data has shown temperature swings between compartments of up to 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That means the milk on one shelf could be warmer than you realize, while the ice cream in the freezer feels soft, even though the unit appears to be running. Even more concerning are the one-star reviews that consistently mention sudden cooling failures after just a few months of use. Not loud noises or minor scratches, but units that operate normally and then abruptly stop maintaining temperature. When this happens after the 90-day return window, buyers are pushed into the manufacturer's warranty process, which often involves long wait times and replacement parts that aren't always readily available in the US. Replacement parts for budget brands like Hisense are typically harder to source compared to long-established brands like Whirlpool or GE. That leads to longer repair times, higher costs, and a frustrating overall experience. 2. LG linear compressor, older models. Although LG has announced improvements, class action lawsuits were still ongoing in early 2026 over compressors that suddenly fail after just 2 to 3 years of use. When first introduced, linear compressor technology was marketed as a breakthrough. Fewer moving parts, quieter operation, and greater energy efficiency. It sounded highly convincing. Many consumers believed they were investing in advanced technology that would outlast traditional compressors. But reality has told a different story. Class action lawsuits related to compressor failures continue to surface, centered on refrigerators that abruptly lose cooling after only a few years of use. Not after 10 years, typically just 2 to 3. That timing often coincides with the end of the standard warranty period, leaving homeowners responsible for costly repairs. Data from independent repair centers shows that service request rates for earlier generation linear compressor models still hover around 10 to 12% within the first year alone. That figure is nearly double the rate seen in many conventional compressor models. The concern isn't just how often failures occur, but also the severity of the issue. When the compressor fails, the refrigerator almost completely loses its cooling ability. Food spoils quickly, and compressor replacement is far from inexpensive. 3. French door plus ice maker in the refrigerator compartment. One design that sounds convenient but carries clear mechanical risk is the French door refrigerator with the ice maker located in the fresh food compartment. Aesthetically, it's very appealing. You get water and ice dispensers right on the door. No need to open the fridge, no bending down. Everything feels sleek and modern, but physics doesn't change just because the design looks more premium. An ice maker requires a stable, below-freezing environment. Placing it inside the refrigerator compartment, where temperatures fluctuate more and humidity levels are higher, forces a freezing system to operate under less than ideal conditions. The common results include localized frost buildup, ice accumulation around the motor assembly, jammed augers, or clogged water lines. U.S. repair technicians have long considered this a classic flaw that has never been fully resolved. In 2026, despite manufacturers claiming improved insulation and airflow systems, reports of ice jams, minor leaks, or clumped ice still appear in user feedback. When the ice maker malfunctions, replacement is not simple, as it is integrated into the door system and control panel. Immediate convenience often distracts buyers from the internal design realities. But if durability is the priority, traditional layouts remain the safer choice. Ice makers located in the freezer operate in their ideal temperature environment, more stable, less humid, and under less mechanical stress. Door-mounted ice dispensers look impressive, but they add a complex assembly that constantly operates in a gray zone temperature range, where ice and moisture interact every day. 4. Samsung Bespoke Family Hub. This was the refrigerator line with the highest failure rate within Costco's system over the past year, 2025. At first glance, it looks like a futuristic command center placed right in the middle of your kitchen. A large touchscreen, internal cameras, Wi-Fi connectivity, app controls. Everything feels incredibly smart, modern, and worth the price. But that very complexity becomes its biggest weakness. Many buyers are drawn in by the premium appearance and forget that the core function of a refrigerator is simple: maintain stable temperatures for years. With the Family Hub, the entire control system depends on the touchscreen assembly and electronic control board mounted directly on the door. When the screen freezes, glitches, or goes completely black, you don't just lose entertainment features, you risk losing control over the internal temperature settings. A number of Costco customers have reported screen failures followed by complete temperature control shutdowns after just 14 to 18 months of use. Once the warranty expires, replacing the control assembly can cost hundreds, sometimes over $1,000. At that point, the smart refrigerator turns into a frustrating repair liability. 5. Medea Budget Models. Like Hisense, Medea falls into Costco's budget-friendly category and has also seen a noticeably high percentage of one-star reviews during 2025 to 2026. The common thread between these brands isn't poor design or missing features. On the contrary, they often look like excellent value for under $1,000. Similar to Hisense, Medea achieves competitive pricing by cutting costs in areas that aren't immediately visible. Budget Medea models typically use thinner insulation and lower-grade internal components compared to mid-range appliances. That directly impacts temperature stability, the key factor in long-term durability. User feedback in this price segment often follows a familiar pattern. The lights stay on and the unit keeps running, but temperatures between compartments become inconsistent. The refrigerator section runs warmer than expected, while the freezer is usually the first to lose performance. This isn't a flaw that jumps out on day one. It's a gradual decline that becomes noticeable only when food quality starts to suffer. Additionally, like many budget models, higher than average noise and vibration levels are frequently mentioned. The compressor cycles more aggressively to compensate for less efficient insulation, increasing strain on the system. When repairs become necessary, replacement parts and technicians experienced with this brand aren't always as readily available as they are for more established brands in the US. 6. Frigidaire Professional. Don't confuse the Gallery line, which is generally considered fairly reliable, with the Frigidaire Professional series. The name Professional, combined with its thick stainless steel exterior, easily gives the impression that you're upgrading to a more durable standard. However, in recent years, the reality has been far less reassuring. The most prominent issue is excessive freezer frost buildup. When the door gasket or overall airtight seal fails to maintain long-term stability, moisture seeps into the freezer compartment. Ice gradually accumulates, restricting airflow and forcing the compressor to cycle more frequently to maintain temperature. The result isn't just visible frost, it's reduced cooling efficiency and increased energy consumption. At the same time, the door water dispenser system is frequently mentioned in user feedback. Minor leaks around the water assembly or drip tray may not cause immediate failure, but over time they create persistent moisture around the door area. When combined with freezer frost issues, this places added strain on the entire system. What disappoints many buyers is the contrast between the premium exterior image and the long-term internal performance. 7. Costco Exclusive Budget OEM. Another group that receives less attention but appears regularly on Costco floors is the Costco Exclusive Budget models, often produced under OEM arrangements. On the price tag, they look like rare bargains. Large capacity, Energy Star labels, and significantly lower prices than familiar brands. But when you look deeper into the internal structure, the reality begins to show. To achieve aggressively low pricing, many of these models cut costs in areas buyers don't immediately notice. Thinner cabinet walls, lighter insulation, and less durable interior plastic shelving are common trade-offs. Compressors are typically entry-level units, operating at higher noise levels and consuming more electricity than mid-range models. Energy usage differences can reach 20 to 30% under similar conditions. Another major concern is repairability. Because these are exclusive models with unique SKUs, wiring diagrams and replacement parts are not as widely available as those for standard mainstream lines. When problems arise, local technicians may need to special order parts through intermediaries or wait extended periods. This increases downtime, while food still requires daily refrigeration. Noise levels above 45 decibels are not uncommon in some of these models. In modern open-concept kitchens, that level is noticeable every time the compressor kicks on. The low price creates an immediate sense of savings, but when factoring in higher energy consumption, thinner materials, and potential repair challenges, the total cost of ownership may no longer look as attractive as the number printed on the original price tag. Like the video if this surprised you. Smart Buy Options, Safe Zone. 1. Whirlpool, side-by-side/top freezer. After examining the weak points in the high-risk segment, it's time to move into safer territory. The first name that U.S. appliance technicians consistently mention when discussing real-world durability is Whirlpool, particularly its side-by-side and top freezer models. The structure of these models has remained largely true to a simple, time-tested design philosophy for years. The freezer compartment is clearly separated, the ice maker is placed in a properly sub-zero environment, and cold air circulates through a straightforward, stable airflow system. In independent U.S. repair reports, Whirlpool ranks among the brands with lower service request rates. Many models maintain failure rates of only about 3 to 5% within the first 5 years. Replacement parts are widely available across the U.S., and technicians in most states are very familiar with the brand's layout. That translates into shorter repair wait times and more reasonable costs if issues arise. Top freezer models, in particular, are highly regarded for mechanical durability. Their traditional design allows the compressor to operate under optimal conditions, with fewer temperature fluctuations and less strain on electronic components. Side-by-side models offer added convenience while maintaining separated cooling zones, avoiding the common physical design flaws seen in French door units with poorly positioned ice makers. At Costco, pricing typically falls within the mid-range category, often bundled with a 2-year warranty and, at times, a complimentary first-year water filter. 2. GE Profile 2026. If you had to choose a refrigerator line in 2026 that's smart but not reckless, GE Appliance's Profile series stands out. The real surprise isn't the design, it's the actual warranty performance rate. According to early 2026 repair data from Yale Appliance, GE Profile maintains a service rate around 8%, noticeably lower than many other smart refrigerator lines in the same category. In a market filled with sensor-heavy, circuit board-driven appliances, that number is significant. Unlike brands that overload the front door with tech, GE Profile distributes its electronic systems more thoughtfully. PFD and PFE models still include Wi-Fi connectivity, digital controls, and upgraded water filtration systems, but the cooling structure and airflow design prioritize temperature stability first. This isn't a computer that happens to cool. It's a refrigerator enhanced with smart features. Another underappreciated strength is parts accessibility. GE maintains an extensive parts distribution network across the U.S., helping reduce repair times when service is needed. The Profile water filtration system is also highly rated for removing contaminants and bacteria, an important factor for households that frequently use the exterior water dispenser. At Costco, GE Profile units often appear in bundle packages with dishwashers or ranges, with discounts ranging from several hundred to over $1,000 when purchased as a set. This significantly lowers the total cost of ownership compared to buying each appliance separately. 3. LG Studio/Signature. When people hear LG, many immediately think of the controversy surrounding older linear compressor models. However, it's important to clearly distinguish between LG's standard lines and its premium tiers such as LG Studio or Signature. This isn't simply a more expensive LG. It's a higher product tier built with noticeably different component standards and quality control. LG Studio models feature upgraded finishes and higher-grade components, from the compressor and control boards to the cabinet structure and insulation materials. Pre-shipment inspection processes are more rigorous than those used for mainstream models, particularly in the compressor assembly and temperature sensor systems. Independent repair data this year shows that compressor failure rates for this line remain below 8.2%, significantly lower than the earlier lower-tier LG models that sparked controversy. At Costco, LG Studio units typically come with a 2-year warranty package and concierge support service. 4. Bosch 800 Series Dual Compressor. If there is a gold standard for stability in 2026, it would be the Bosch 800 series equipped with a dual compressor system. While many brands focus on adding more screens, more apps, and more eye-catching features, Bosch concentrates on the core function: precise temperature control through 2 independent compressors. Dual compressor technology isn't just a marketing term. It represents a genuine engineering difference. One compressor operates exclusively for the refrigerator compartment and another for the freezer. These separate systems allow each section to maintain precise temperature control without being affected by frequent door openings. Fresh food isn't subjected to temperature swings when the freezer ramps up, and odors do not transfer between compartments. A second major strength is long-term stability. Because each compressor handles only one compartment, mechanical stress is distributed rather than concentrated in a single central system. The interior design follows a minimalist yet precise philosophy. Thick glass shelves, sturdy sliding rails, and multi-point cooling systems help maintain consistent temperatures throughout the compartment. At Costco, the 800 series often includes professional installation and a 2-year concierge warranty. For an appliance priced above $3,000, what matters most isn't how smart it looks, but how accurately and reliably it performs over time. 5. KitchenAid Counter Depth. If you want a premium look without gambling on overly complex technology, KitchenAid Counter Depth is a model worth a closer look. In the showroom, it blends seamlessly with high-end cabinetry, thick stainless steel, solid handles, and a flush installation that sits neatly against the wall like a custom-built unit. But the real value isn't in the refined exterior, it's in the internal framework. KitchenAid operates under the Whirlpool ecosystem, meaning its mechanical foundation is built on a structure proven for durability. The cooling system is stable, and the compressor design has generated far fewer controversies than many feature-heavy French door models on the market. This reduces the risk of systemic failures often seen in models that prioritize technology over core performance. Counter-depth design also addresses a practical issue many overlook. When the refrigerator doesn't protrude excessively from the countertop, Surrounding airflow remains more stable, reducing strain on heat dissipation and minimizing noise. Interior shelving is solidly constructed, with thick metal rails and minimal vibration even after extended use. These may seem like small details, but they define long-term experience. Feedback from Costco buyers shows high satisfaction levels, particularly regarding durability and overall build quality. With its premium design paired with a conservative, field-tested engineering platform, KitchenAid Counter Depth delivers a strong balance between aesthetics and reliability. Survival rules for buying a refrigerator in 2026. Before you walk up to the register and swipe a few $1,000s, there's a hard truth to acknowledge. Most refrigerator buying mistakes don't come from choosing the wrong brand. They come from choosing the wrong mindset. In 2026, technology can easily overwhelm you, but durability lies in the details most people ignore. First golden rule: don't ask sales associates which model is hot. Ask repair technicians which models they rarely have to come back to fix. Salespeople focus on volume. Technicians see the consequences after 2 or 3 years of real-world use. In real conversations across the U.S., certain names consistently make technicians cautious due to complex electronics or hard-to-source components. Second, prioritize simplicity. The fewer screens and unnecessary sensors, the lower the risk. A good refrigerator doesn't need to impress you every time you open the door. It needs to maintain stable temperatures 24/7 without demanding your attention. Third, always check for the Energy Star label and garage-ready capability if the unit will be placed in a non-climate-controlled space. Temperature stability under extreme conditions separates truly durable appliances from those that only look reliable on paper. Finally, don't be swayed by the word exclusive or deep discounts. Carefully verify whether the model is a stripped-down version with downgraded components. A smart decision isn't about saving a few $100s today. It's about avoiding repair bills and spoiled food for years to come. Costco in 2026 has no shortage of refrigerators that look impressive but carry significant risk once the warranty expires. At Costco, the difference isn't in the listed price. It's in choosing the right model. Avoiding lines prone to systemic issues and prioritizing brands with low repair rates will shape the next 10 years in your kitchen. Don't let a few $1,000s turn into a gamble just because of an eye-catching design. Which home appliance do you think is the most worthwhile purchase at Costco this year? The truth about Costco gas in 2026 has changed completely. Do you still think saving 20 to 30 cents per gallon automatically means you're coming out ahead? That may have been true a few years ago, but with the latest membership fees, tighter operational controls, and hidden costs that most people don't factor in, the savings math isn't that simple anymore. Before you wait an extra 30 minutes in line to fill up your tank, there are a few numbers you genuinely need to know. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. One, Costco is the king of cheap gas. Let's start with a fact that can't be denied. Costco remains one of the cheapest places to buy gas in the United States in 2026. This isn't just perception, it's data. Reports from GasBuddy and OPIS throughout 2025 to 2026 show that Costco leads in lowest fuel pricing in more than 60% of U.S. states, up from around 50% just a few years ago. That means in most parts of the country, if you compare digital price boards across stations, Costco will very likely be at the bottom. The current average price gap ranges from 20 to 25 cents per gallon. In highly competitive markets like Texas and Oklahoma, that spread can reach 30 to 35 cents. For a 15-gallon tank, that translates to roughly $3 to $5 saved per fill-up. It may not sound dramatic, but if you drive frequently, those savings compound meaningfully over months and years. What keeps Costco holding on to the cheap gas king title isn't just the price. Their fuel meets top-tier standards, meaning it contains detergent additives above federal minimum requirements, helping keep engines cleaner and improving performance. In 2026, Costco also upgraded filtration systems directly at the pump to ensure cleaner fuel before it even reaches your tank. This matters especially for newer vehicles and hybrids, which are more sensitive to fuel quality. So if you look strictly at posted prices and fuel standards, Costco absolutely earns that reputation. They're not lowering prices by cutting quality, they're offering high-standard fuel at below-market pricing. However, this is exactly where things start to get more complicated. Cheaper does not automatically mean more profitable in every scenario. A 20 to 25 cent per gallon difference sounds attractive, but how much of that money are you truly keeping in your pocket? 2. The membership hike. This is the part many people overlook when talking about cheap gas at Costco. Since early 2025 and continuing into 2026, membership fees have officially increased. The basic Gold Star membership now costs $65 per year instead of $60. The executive membership has risen to $130 per year, up from $120. The numbers may not seem dramatic, but once you factor them into the fuel savings equation, the math starts to shift. Let's run a simple calculation. If Costco gas is about 20 cents cheaper per gallon on average, you would need to purchase at least 325 gallons per year just to break even on the $65 membership fee. That's only the starting point, not actual savings. For a typical sedan with a 15-gallon tank, you would need to fill up roughly 22 times just to pay back the membership before saving a single dollar. And if you drive less than average, work from home, use a hybrid, or even drive an EV, the math becomes even tougher. Many people still assume cheap gas covers the membership, but in 2026, that assumption is no longer automatically true. The membership fee isn't an issue if you're maximizing other warehouse benefits. But if your primary goal is simply saving a few cents per gallon, you're essentially paying an annual entry fee. And in 2026, with the updated rates, that calculation deserves a fresh look. 3. The numbers that reveal the real cost. Most people focus on the 20 to 25 cents per gallon difference and feel like they're winning. But there are other numbers, rarely discussed, that ultimately determine whether you come out ahead or behind. User surveys from 2025 show that in densely populated states like California and New York, average wait times during peak hours range from 25 to 40 minutes. On weekends, it can be even longer. If you're saving $3 to $5 on a 15-gallon fill-up, but spending 40 minutes waiting, the real question is no longer, is the gas cheaper, but what is your time worth? Assume your income averages $30 per hour. 40 minutes of waiting represents roughly $20 worth of time. In exchange, you save $3 to $4. No one is paying you to stand in line, of course, but the value of your time still exists, whether you calculate it or not. Additionally, if you have to drive an extra 8 miles round trip just to reach a Costco station, and average gas prices in 2026 sit around $3.10 to $3.50 per gallon, you're already spending close to $1 simply on the additional fuel used. Combine that with travel and wait time, and the perceived $3 to $4 savings per fill-up becomes far thinner than it initially feels. These numbers don't appear on the digital price board at the pump, but they are very real every time you decide to turn into a Costco parking lot. 4. The secret model that keeps Costco's gas prices low. If you think Costco is cheaper because they're taking losses to compete, you're looking in the wrong place. The real answer lies in their revenue model. And that's what truly allows them to keep gas prices below market averages year after year without compromising long-term sustainability. First is the membership model. Costco does not rely entirely on profit margins from individual products. They have a powerful and highly stable revenue stream. Annual membership fees. Tens of millions of members paying $65 or $130 per year generate a nearly fixed flow of income. That revenue allows Costco to operate with thinner margins across many categories, including fuel. They don't need to make much on each gallon because the profit doesn't depend solely on that gallon. But if you think it's as simple as collect membership fees to sell cheap gas, you're underestimating the system behind it. The gas station is actually a traffic magnet for Costco. Fuel isn't just a convenience service. It's the first touch point in the consumer journey. Cheap gas pulls you into the parking lot. And once you're there, the likelihood that you walk inside the warehouse increases significantly. A tank of gas may generate only a few dollars in margin, but a shopping cart inside the warehouse can generate far more. Costco understands this behavior extremely well. Gas stations are typically positioned right near the main entrance. They know consumers tend to think, I'm already here, I might as well go in. Once you've driven out, waited in line, and filled up, Stepping inside to grab a few items becomes almost automatic. Importantly, gas is not a full loss leader like the famous $1.50 hot dog. Oil prices are volatile, so they can't afford to sell fuel at deep losses. But they can price it close to break-even to optimize traffic flow. The goal isn't to win on every gallon, it's to win on every member. That's why Costco can maintain low prices for extended periods without weakening its financial foundation. Like the video if this surprised you. 5. Card control technology at the pump. There's a quiet shift in 2026 that many people haven't fully noticed. Costco isn't just selling cheaper gas. They're tightening control over who is allowed to buy it. If borrowing a friend's card or casually sharing a membership used to be relatively common, the system at the pump has now been significantly tightened. Costco has rolled out stronger verification technology through its app and enhanced card scanning directly at fuel stations. In some regions, account information must be authenticated through the mobile app before the pump is activated. This makes card sharing or unauthorized membership use far more difficult than it was just a few years ago. In other words, cheap gas is now firmly tied to legitimate membership status, no longer the soft privilege it once felt like. From a business standpoint, the move is logical. With membership fees now at $65 or $130, Costco needs to protect the exclusivity of that membership value. If anyone could access discounted fuel without paying, the entire membership model would begin to erode. Pump-level verification isn't just about technology. It's about safeguarding their core profit structure. This shift also changes the consumer equation. If you previously relied on a relative's or friend's card to access lower fuel prices, that flexibility has been significantly reduced. Each cheaper gallon now clearly comes with a condition. You must be the paying member. And when that requirement becomes more strictly enforced than ever, the savings calculation resets. You're no longer just comparing price per gallon. You also have to factor in the cost of gaining access to that lower price in the first place. 6. The Clean Gas Durable Tires Combo. If you think Costco is only about saving a few cents per gallon, you're looking at it too narrowly. What keeps many drivers loyal to this gas station isn't just the price board. It's what stands right next to it, the tire center. It's no coincidence that the gas station is placed directly beside the tire center. When you purchase tires at Costco, you receive a lifetime maintenance package that includes tire rotations, balancing, and periodic inspections. In 2026, with rising labor costs at independent garages, those services can easily cost $100 to $150 per year elsewhere. At Costco, they're essentially built into the price of the tires. Consumers who understand this clearly know how to turn one trip into 3 benefits. Schedule a tire rotation, fill up on gas while waiting, then head into the warehouse to shop. One stop, multiple advantages. It's no coincidence that many drivers develop the habit of fueling at Costco. They're optimizing their total cost of vehicle ownership, not just focusing on the price of fuel. In addition, Costco fuel meets top-tier standards, meaning it contains detergent additives that help keep engines clean. When you combine high-quality fuel with properly maintained tires, you're protecting the 2 core factors that determine vehicle performance, the engine and the rolling system. If you're going to Costco only because it's 20 cents cheaper per gallon, you're missing the bigger picture. But if you see it as a comprehensive vehicle care hub, offering high-standard fuel alongside long-term complimentary tire services, the savings equation becomes much deeper and more strategic. 7. App-based pricing and cashback. If you're still comparing gas prices by only looking at the big digital sign in front of the station, you're missing a critical part of the 2026 game. Competition is no longer just happening between gas stations. It's happening on your phone. Fuel price apps like GasBuddy and Upside allow you to track prices by neighborhood and along your actual commuting route, not based on assumptions. Instead of driving 8 to 10 extra miles to Costco because you heard it's cheaper, you might discover a station directly along your daily route that's only 5 to 10 cents higher, but requires no waiting and no membership fee. When you factor in time and distance, the real price you pay could be just as competitive, or even better. But the biggest shift comes from cashback. Many U.S. credit cards now offer 3% to 5% back on gas purchases, without tying you to a specific brand. Do the math. If gas costs $3.30 per gallon and you receive 5% back, That's roughly 16 to 17 cents saved per gallon. Combine that with choosing a competitively priced station near home, and your effective post-cashback price can match, or even beat, Costco without paying a $65 annual membership fee. Some apps also offer per-gallon or receipt-based rebates, allowing you to stack savings. When you combine competitive local pricing plus credit card rewards plus app-based promotions, you're building a strategic optimization system rather than relying on a single brand. What makes this model powerful is flexibility. You're not locked into one location, you're not stuck in long lines, you're not driving out of your way. You optimize based on geography and timing, not habit. 8. The cheap gas super clean car wash combo. You fill up your tank at a price below the market average, and right by the exit you see a car wash sign advertising $8 to $10. Compared to the $15 to $20 charged at many standalone car washes, the decision feels almost automatic. That's exactly what makes this combo so compelling. Costco doesn't compete on price alone. Stations built or upgraded between 2024 and 2026 now feature modern automatic wash systems, eco-friendly cleaning solutions, and advanced water filtration designed to reduce spotting on paint. The overall impression is clear: a cleaner car, lower cost, all in one stop. In 2026, as service prices continue to rise, saving around $10 per wash becomes meaningful. If you wash your car several times a month, the annual savings can easily add up to hundreds of dollars. It's not hard to see why many drivers consider this a golden combo when visiting Costco. What fewer people notice, however, is how this seamless setup also extends the time you spend there. Car wash lines can be just as long as fuel lines. Cheap gas draws you into the parking lot. A well-priced car wash keeps you there longer. Lower prices create a sense of efficiency, but the time spent often increases along with it. Here's a simple expert tip. Don't purchase the car wash at the pump if you see more than 5 cars already in line. The wash ticket remains valid for an extended period. You don't have to use it immediately. Instead, come back early on a Tuesday or Wednesday morning when traffic is typically lighter to optimize both your money and your time. 9. Are you actually saving or losing? Every time you pull into a Costco gas station, it can feel like you've just beaten the market by a few cents per gallon. The lower price sign creates a very real sense of victory. But the real question is this: does that victory still exist after you add up the entire equation? Let's start with the baseline number. The Gold Star membership currently costs $65 per year. If the average price difference is 20 cents per gallon, you would need to purchase about 325 gallons just to break even. If you typically fill up around 15 gallons at a time, that means more than 20 fill-ups per year before you even reach the no-loss point. If you fill up only once or twice per month, your total annual gallon count may not be high enough to generate meaningful profit from that price gap. Especially if you drive a hybrid, work from home, or simply drive less than average, your yearly savings could equal or even fall below the membership fee. Next comes the time factor. If you spend 30 minutes waiting in line each visit and do that 30 times per year, that's 15 hours spent just fueling up. What is 15 hours worth to you? Even if you don't convert it directly into dollars, it's still time that could have gone toward work, family, or rest. Then there's the distance to the station. If Costco isn't on your normal route and you have to detour, the $3 to $4 saved per fill-up can quickly erode through extra fuel consumption and additional vehicle wear. This doesn't mean everyone loses by buying gas at Costco. If you're already a member for other reasons, it's conveniently located along your commute, you drive frequently, and wait times are minimal, you may genuinely come out ahead. 10. The hidden cost. There's a cost the price board never shows: the extra miles you drive just to access that lower price. In 2026, with gas prices hovering around $3.10 to $3.50 per gallon, that detour is no longer insignificant. Suppose Costco isn't on your daily commute. You drive an additional 4 miles to get there and 4 miles back, 8 extra miles total. With average fuel efficiency for a typical sedan, you may burn close to $1 worth of gas just reaching the station. Meanwhile, saving 20 to 25 cents per gallon on a 15-gallon fill-up amounts to about $3 to $4. Nearly one-third of the gain disappears simply because of distance. And that's not the whole story. Extra driving also means additional tire wear, oil consumption, time, and exposure to traffic risk. These factors don't appear on your fuel receipt, but they are part of the total cost of vehicle ownership. If you repeat this dozens of times per year, those extra miles can add up to hundreds annually, all to chase a few dollars per visit. The issue isn't whether Costco is cheaper. The issue is its position within your daily route. If the station is directly on your way home, the benefit remains largely intact. But if you must detour, drive farther, and consume extra fuel to reach it, the savings equation changes very quickly. 11. The time tax and convenience. There's a type of tax you won't see on a receipt or notice deducted from your bank account, yet it quietly takes value from you every time you fill up: the time tax. A familiar sight at many Costco stations in 2026 is a long line of cars, especially on weekends or after work. Wait times of 25 to 40 minutes are no longer unusual, and in some cases can approach nearly an hour. Meanwhile, the price sign in front of you still shows gas that's 20 to 25 cents cheaper per gallon, reinforcing the feeling that you're making the right decision. But shift the perspective. If you save about $5 on a 15-gallon fill-up and spend 30 minutes waiting, you're effectively earning $5 for half an hour, or paying yourself about $10 per hour. If your income is higher than that, and for most Americans it is, you're trading your time at a rate below its real value. Time isn't just money, it's flexibility. It's the opportunity to work more, rest, or simply avoid sitting in a line of idling cars. When saving a few dollars comes with stress, heat, or rushing, convenience becomes part of the equation. There's also the payment limitation. Costco gas stations do not accept cash and primarily take Visa credit cards or debit cards. For customers who forget the appropriate card or aren't familiar with the system, the checkout process can slow down, extending the line behind them. Each small step in the process contributes to a time cost that never appears on the price board. 12. A smarter approach in 2026. If you think there are only two choices, fill up at Costco or pay more somewhere else, you're oversimplifying the issue. This is a strategic equation, and there are smarter ways to lower your actual fuel costs. You can often achieve a lower effective price by combining technology and cashback. Apps like Gas Buddy and Upside allow you to track real-time prices along your daily route. Simply avoiding a 5 to 10-mile detour can preserve savings that many drivers unintentionally lose. Next is a smart cashback strategy. Many credit cards now offer 3 to 5% back on gas purchases at any station. With gas priced around $3.30 per gallon, a 5% reward equals more than 16 cents per gallon. When you combine a competitively priced local station with cashback rewards, your effective price may match, or even beat, Costco without paying a $65 annual membership fee. Timing also matters. Based on supply and demand patterns, prices earlier in the week, especially on Mondays, are often lower than on weekends. Filling up on the right day can create meaningful savings without waiting in long lines. Instead of remaining loyal to a single location, optimize based on circumstances. Local pricing, your driving route, credit card rewards, and time of day. Smart consumers don't just ask, "Where is it cheaper?" They ask, "What's the true price after all factors are included?" Costco gas is still high quality and often very affordable, but in 2026, it's no longer the automatic best deal for everyone. If you don't plan to shop inside the warehouse, or if the station isn't on your regular commute, waiting 30 minutes just to save a few dollars can become a flawed economic decision. Would you choose to wait 35 minutes at Costco? Or would you rather spend an extra $3 to get home sooner and be with your family? Pause before you walk into Costco this week. In 2026, many familiar products are being discontinued entirely. No big clearance sales, no advance notice. By the time you realize it, the shelf could already be empty, and replacement prices may be nearly double. What's more concerning is that many of these items are staple foods millions of families buy every month. Once you understand the reasons behind it, you may look at your shopping cart very differently. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Kirkland organic olive oil. There's a surprising contradiction here. This has long been one of Costco's most popular and best-selling items, yet it's now on the discontinuation list for 2026. The 2-liter bottle of Kirkland organic olive oil, priced around $25, has been considered a reliable value in the warehouse for years. And precisely because it sells so well, its disappearance has caught many shoppers off guard. So why would a top-selling product vanish? The answer lies in global supply. The Mediterranean region is experiencing one of the worst harvest seasons in decades. Production in Spain, Italy, and Greece has dropped significantly due to climate instability. Costs have risen while supply has tightened. Costco faced two options: raise the price dramatically to around $40 to $45 or lower quality standards. They chose neither. They chose to discontinue the product. Rather than sell a version that no longer meets its familiar price and quality standards, Costco decided to step back. That makes the $25 price point for strictly controlled organic olive oil increasingly difficult to replicate. 2. Kirkland Organic Coconut Oil. Kirkland Organic Coconut Oil, the 2-pack of 42-ounce jars priced around $20, is also gradually disappearing from shelves, with discontinuation expected around April 2026. This shift stems from labor shortages and declining coconut production in the Philippines and Indonesia. At its current price, 84 ounces of organic coconut oil is nearly unmatched in value. Once discontinued, replacement brands could cost close to twice as much. For families who use coconut oil for cooking, baking, or personal care, that price difference adds up quickly over time. One of coconut oil's biggest advantages is its stability and long shelf life, easily 2 to 3 years when stored in a cool, dry place. That's why many households consider it a strategic kitchen staple. Not just an ingredient, but a versatile foundation for multiple uses. 3. Kirkland Mixed Nuts. Priced at around $15, Kirkland Mixed Nuts has long been a safe go-to for anyone looking for a healthier snack. Almonds, cashews, pecans, Brazil nuts, all packed into one large, convenient, budget-friendly container. It's a strong seller and almost always placed in a prominent spot in the warehouse. But in 2026, it's expected to disappear. Not because demand has dropped. The deciding factor is the global supply chain. Brazil nut exports have tightened, cashew prices have surged, and pecan harvests in the U.S. have faced seasonal challenges. With input costs rising across the board, Costco faced two options: significantly raise the price or alter the formula. They chose to discontinue the product. For many households, this isn't just a snack. It's a convenient source of protein and healthy fats that can be stored for months when kept sealed and dry. When a best-selling product is discontinued due to factors beyond the retailer's control, it's a sign that the food market is shifting faster than most of us realize. 4. Kirkland Bacon. If you assume bacon is something that will never disappear from Costco, this news may give you pause. Kirkland Bacon, the familiar 4-pound pack priced around $18, is reportedly on the discontinuation list starting March 2026. Not because quality has declined, but because the pork processing industry is undergoing major restructuring, with plant closures and rising operating costs. Once this product leaves the shelves, the replacement will likely be another brand priced around $30 to $35 for the same weight, nearly double for the same number of slices you've been buying each week. For families who regularly use bacon for breakfast, salads, pasta, or weekend grilling, that price difference adds up quickly. 5. Kirkland Canned Chicken Breast. Kirkland Canned Chicken Breast may not be flashy, but it has been one of the most reliable and convenient protein options at Costco. 6 cans for about $12, ready to use straight from the shelf. And this very product is expected to be discontinued in early 2026 due to pressure within the poultry processing industry and rising regulatory compliance costs. If replaced by another brand, the projected price could nearly double. That's particularly significant for those who rely on it as a backup protein source. No refrigeration is required. It has a 3 to 5 year shelf life, and it's versatile enough for salads, sandwiches, pasta, or rice. During power outages, snowstorms, or simply when you haven't had time to grocery shop, a few cans of chicken can easily substitute for a full meal. 6. Kirkland Protein Bars. Kirkland protein bars in chocolate chip and brownie flavors will be discontinued starting April 2026. The reason isn't weak sales but sharply rising costs for whey protein and cocoa, along with contract disputes with the manufacturer. Instead of raising the price by 40%, Costco has chosen to remove the product altogether. Currently, a box of 20 bars costs about $24, roughly $1.20 per bar. Once discontinued, you'll likely have to switch to other brands priced between $2.50 and $3 per bar. For families who consume 1 to 2 bars a day, that price difference adds up noticeably over the course of a year. Protein bars typically have a shelf life of 9 to 12 months and only need to be stored in a cool, dry place. For busy individuals, they serve as a quick, convenient snack that still delivers solid protein. Many households are already stocking up before the product disappears from shelves. 7. Kirkland Organic Tomato Sauce. If your household regularly cooks pasta, soup, or chili, this is worth paying attention to. Kirkland Organic Tomato Sauce, the 8-can pack priced around $10, is on the discontinuation list starting early 2026. The reason stems from a significant drop in organic tomato production in California due to drought and stricter water regulations. The product is still available in many warehouses, but some locations are beginning to see lower stock levels. As news spreads, many members have started purchasing 1 or 2 extra packs per visit. This item has a long shelf life and can be stored for years if kept in a dry place. Because it serves as a foundational ingredient in so many recipes, many families are choosing to buy ahead for a few months rather than risk switching to a significantly higher-priced alternative once it's gone. 8. Kirkland Honey. Kirkland Honey is known for its large size and consistently stable pricing over the years. It's the kind of product you buy once and forget how long you've had it, because it practically doesn't spoil when stored properly. However, starting in May 2026, this product will be discontinued due to instability in the global honey supply and quality concerns from certain suppliers. Costco reportedly does not want to continue carrying it unless original standards can be fully maintained. In some warehouses, inventory has already decreased noticeably. Many members have started purchasing an extra bottle or two to use over time. Since honey stores well for extended periods, buying ahead doesn't create pressure to use it quickly. 9. Kirkland Signature Soy Milk. Soy milk was once the default choice for vegetarians and those with lactose intolerance. Kirkland soy milk has maintained stable pricing and simple ingredients and works well for coffee, cereal, or cooking. But consumer trends have shifted rapidly. Almond milk, oat milk, and newer plant-based alternatives have taken the lead. In 2026, Kirkland soy milk is expected to gradually disappear from many warehouses due to declining sales. In some areas, the product is no longer being restocked. If you see an asterisk on the price sign, that's the signal that the remaining inventory is being cleared out. And once it's gone, it won't be returning. 10. Kirkland Organic Coconut Water. Kirkland Organic Coconut Water is often purchased by the case during summer or after workouts. The 12-bottle pack at a steady price has made it a default option for hydration. However, the coconut industry in Asia is facing labor shortages and declining production, tightening overall supply. Costco is expected to discontinue this product in March 2026, rather than significantly raise the price. Recently, inventory at some warehouses has been moving faster than usual. Regular buyers have started picking up a few extra cases while they're still available, especially since the product has about a 1-year shelf life when unopened. Like the video if this surprised you? 3. Kirkland Organic Coffee. For many people, coffee isn't just a drink, it's a morning ritual. The 3-pound bag of Kirkland Organic Coffee has long been a familiar choice because it's far more affordable than many specialty brands, yet still consistent enough for daily brewing. That's why news of its discontinuation starting in May this year has caught many shoppers off guard. The reason stems from global coffee supply volatility, frost and drought in South America, along with sharply rising organic certification costs. Costco reportedly chose to discontinue the product rather than push the price too high. At some warehouses, inventory has been shrinking faster than usual. Many customers have started buying a few extra bags and freezing them to preserve freshness, since properly sealed coffee beans can maintain quality for several months. 12. Kirkland Signature Butter. Also in the category of must-have kitchen staples, Kirkland Signature Butter is preparing to leave shelves starting in March. The 4 1-pound sticks at an affordable price have long been a go-to option for baking, sautéing, or quick breakfasts. The dairy industry is currently undergoing supplier consolidation and rising production costs, making the current price difficult to sustain. Instead of implementing a sudden price increase, Costco has chosen to discontinue the Kirkland version and transition to a higher-priced alternative brand. In many warehouses, pallets are no longer as fully stocked as before. Butter can be frozen for 12 to 24 months when properly wrapped, so many families are buying a few extra boxes to store. 13. Kirkland Almond Butter. It's not just dairy butter. Kirkland Almond Butter is also on the discontinuation list for 2026. This product has been popular for its large jar size, thick texture, and competitive price per ounce compared to the broader market. Almond supply in California has been tightening due to drought and reduced acreage, driving costs significantly higher. Costco has chosen to discontinue the product rather than raise prices substantially. Recently, inventory of almond butter has noticeably decreased at some warehouses. Regular users, whether for smoothies, toast spreads, or sauces, are stocking up with a few extra jars while they're still on the shelves. 14. Kirkland Packaged Tuna. If you've ever tossed a few packs of Kirkland tuna into your cart simply because they were convenient and reasonably priced, this may not be welcome news. The product is set to be discontinued at the end of February 2026. The 8-pack, with each pouch at 7 ounces, has been a go-to option for many families because it's clean, compact, and easy to store. This time, the reason comes down to global tuna supply. Fishing operations are facing tighter regulations, rising fuel costs, and new compliance requirements, all of which are driving raw material prices higher. Rather than significantly increase the retail price, Costco has chosen to discontinue the item. What stands out is that this has long been a noticeably more affordable option compared to supermarket brands. And since packaged tuna has a shelf life of several years, many households are proactively stocking up before being forced to switch to a more expensive alternative. 15. Kirkland Organic Maple Syrup. Kirkland Organic Maple Syrup has often been considered one of the best values in the pure maple category. A large bottle, rich flavor, and a price far below many specialty brands. However, warmer winters in Canada are shortening the sap collection season, directly impacting maple syrup supply. Starting in June, this product will be discontinued under the Kirkland label. Pure maple syrup isn't easily replaced with a cheaper alternative without sacrificing flavor. And because unopened syrup can last a long time when stored properly, many families are choosing to buy ahead, especially if they regularly use it for pancakes, oatmeal, or as a glaze for meats. 16. Kirkland Organic Peanut Butter. Also among the familiar organic staples, Kirkland Peanut Butter is preparing to leave the shelves this March. The 2-pack of large jars, with a highly competitive price per ounce, has made it a popular choice for sandwiches, smoothies, or pairing with fruit. Peanut supply in the southern United States has been affected by drought and fungal disease, pushing costs significantly higher. Rather than raise prices sharply, Costco has decided to discontinue the product. In many warehouses, display quantities have already declined noticeably. Since unopened jars can be stored for nearly a year in a cool, dry place, many families are buying a few extra packs to use over time before the product disappears completely. 17. Kirkland Organic Tortilla Chips. There's one item people often take for granted, until it's no longer on the shelf. Kirkland Organic Tortilla Chips. 2 large bags at an affordable price, perfect for snacking, making nachos, pairing with salsa, or even crushing as a casserole topping. For many families, it's a habitual purchase because it's always available and requires little thought. But starting in May 2026, this product will be discontinued. The reason isn't declining demand, but a shrinking supply of organic corn. Many farmers are switching to conventional corn because it's more profitable, significantly reducing organic acreage. With costs rising and no desire to impose a steep price increase, Costco has chosen to remove the product altogether. Notably, tortilla chips have a relatively long shelf life when stored in a cool, dry place. You may want to consider picking up a few extra bags if this is a regular weekend snack in your household. Once it's gone, finding a comparable organic option at a similar price point won't be easy. 是吧? Kirkland Organic Salsa. If tortilla chips are the companion, then Kirkland Organic Salsa is the other half of the pair. 2 large jars, fresh flavor, moderate heat, perfect for chips, tacos, breakfast eggs, or as a base for quick meals. With a stable price for years, it's been an easy item to toss into the cart without a second thought. However, due to declining organic tomato production and rising ingredient costs, Kirkland Organic Salsa will be discontinued this coming April. This is a ripple effect from broader agricultural supply issues, not a result of decreased demand. Unopened salsa can last more than a year. That's why regular users who rely on it for snacks or quick cooking have started picking up a few extra jars before being forced to switch to higher-priced alternatives. 19. Kirkland Organic Quinoa. Quinoa was once considered a star among healthy grains, high in protein, gluten-free, easy to cook, and versatile enough for vegetables, meat dishes, or salads. The 4-pound bag of Kirkland Organic Quinoa at a reasonable price helped many families maintain healthier eating habits without stretching their budgets. But starting this coming April, the product will be discontinued due to supply disruptions in South America caused by unpredictable weather and rising export costs. Rather than significantly raise the price, Costco has decided to remove the product altogether. Quinoa stores very well when kept in an airtight container in a dry place and can last 2 to 3 years. For those who regularly use quinoa instead of rice or as part of a plant-based diet, buying a few extra bags ahead of time is becoming a serious consideration before market prices climb higher. 20. Kirkland Organic Chia Seeds. There was a time when chia seeds seemed to appear in every clean-eating kitchen. Just a tablespoon added to smoothies, yogurt, or overnight oats provided longer-lasting fullness, along with omega-3s, fiber, and protein. The 2-pound bag of Kirkland Organic Chia Seeds has been an especially cost-effective option compared to buying smaller packages at traditional grocery stores. And for that reason, news that this product will be discontinued in June has caught many people off guard. Chia seed supply from Mexico and South America is tightening as global demand grows faster than production. Raw material costs are rising, but rather than raise prices significantly, Costco has chosen to remove the product. What has many people thinking ahead is that chia seeds can last 2 to 3 years when stored in a sealed container in a cool, dry place. For those who add chia to their daily breakfast routine, stocking up on a few extra bags is becoming a practical consideration before paying much higher prices for alternatives. 21. Kirkland Dark Chocolate Chips. If you've ever baked at home, there's a good chance the 72-ounce bag of Kirkland Dark Chocolate Chips has been sitting in your pantry. The large bag, with a very affordable price per pound, works for cookies, brownies, muffins, and pancakes. And many people even grab a handful straight from the bag as a snack. Starting next month, this product will be discontinued due to a severe crisis in the global cocoa industry. Production in West Africa has dropped sharply because of climate change and crop disease, driving cocoa prices up rapidly. Rather than implement a sudden price increase, Costco has decided to discontinue the SKU under the Kirkland label. For families who bake regularly or prepare for the holiday season, many have already started picking up a few extra bags while they're still available. Once these SKUs are removed from the system, Costco will not restock them. And experience shows that when former Kirkland value items return under different brands, they are almost always significantly more expensive. If this is something your family buys month after month and it has a long shelf life, this may not be the time to wait. Plan your purchases wisely and stock enough for the next few months before the market adjusts in a way that disadvantages consumers. Which product's disappearance surprised you the most? Do you think eating healthy at Costco means spending more money? In reality, it's the opposite. There are items here that are so cheap that if you don't know how to buy them properly, you're actually overpaying every single week. Costco has shortcuts that most shoppers walk right past without ever noticing. Once you know these quiet insider hacks, your grocery budget can drop significantly without sacrificing quality at all. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Choosing salmon. When you step into Costco's seafood section, It's hard to miss those bright red trays of Alaskan salmon displayed so prominently, but don't rush to grab the thawed salmon sitting out on the case. Instead, head straight to the freezer and look for bags of wild sockeye salmon that are still rock solid. The key detail is hidden in two small words on the label: frozen and previously frozen. They sound very different, but in reality, both have been frozen at some point. The only difference is this: one stays frozen until it reaches you, while the other has already been thawed and placed out to look fresh. Strangely enough, that thawed version usually costs more. For wild-caught Alaskan sockeye salmon, the frozen option is often about $1 to $2 cheaper per pound. Same source, no difference in quality, and still packed with omega-3s. What you're paying extra for is simply the thawing process and the visual impression of freshness. If you're cooking it during the week or storing it in your freezer anyway, that price difference adds zero real value. Another detail many people overlook: frozen fish is typically flash frozen right after being caught, which helps preserve both texture and nutritional content. Meanwhile, the fresh salmon at the counter has gone through multiple stages of transport, storage, and display. It may look better, but that doesn't mean it's better. For households that eat salmon regularly, switching from grabbing the convenient fresh tray to choosing the right frozen option can noticeably lower monthly food costs. 2. Buying whole ribeye, primal cut. There's a familiar moment at the Costco meat counter. You pick up a tray of pre-cut ribeye steaks, see a price close to $30 per pound, hesitate for a few seconds, and then put it back. What most people don't realize is that a hidden gold mine is sitting nearby: the primal cut. Instead of buying neatly trimmed, beautifully sliced steaks, look for the large, vacuum-sealed ribeye slabs weighing 10 to 15 pounds. They may not look pretty, and they're definitely not pre-cut, but this is where the real value lives. With the same USDA prime quality, these primal ribeyes are usually priced around $19 per pound, nearly half the cost of the sliced steaks displayed out front. The interesting part is that Costco isn't hiding these at all. They're there every day, just not staged to grab your attention. When you buy a primal cut, you're skipping the labor costs of cutting, trimming, and presentation, along with the built-in waste factored into pre-cut pricing. What you're paying for is simply meat and fat, nothing more. Breaking it down at home is far easier than most people think. With a reasonably sharp knife and about 15 minutes, you can portion steaks exactly how you like them: thick, steakhouse-style cuts, or thinner slices for quick pan-searing. The fat trim and smaller pieces aren't wasted either. They're perfect for grinding into beef or rendering into beef tallow to use later. If your household eats beef regularly, or you often host friends, buying prime ribeye turns Costco into your personal steak supplier. 3. Use Kirkland grass-fed butter instead of seed oils. Extra virgin olive oil and avocado oil sound like the right choices for a healthy kitchen, but using them every day can really hurt your wallet. If you cook regularly, you'll notice your cooking oil spending climbing almost as fast as your meat and seafood budget. That's where Kirkland Signature grass-fed butter quietly becomes one of Costco's most overlooked fat swaps. This butter is made from milk from grass-fed cows year-round, typically sourced from New Zealand or Ireland, and sold in a box of 4 large sticks totaling 2 pounds. The deep yellow color is immediately noticeable, not from food coloring, but from natural beta-carotene in the grass. Compared side by side with pale, conventional butter, the difference is obvious. What makes this a true hack is simple: better flavor without the sticker shock. At stores like Whole Foods or Publix, a single small stick of grass-fed butter can cost $7 to $8. At Costco, for roughly the same price, or just a bit more, you get all 4 sticks. For everyday cooking, that price gap becomes very noticeable within just a few weeks. From a nutrition standpoint, grass-fed butter contains more vitamin K2 and omega-3s, while most seed oils contain little to none. When frying eggs, sautéing vegetables, or cooking steak, butter adds a naturally rich aroma and flavor that makes food more satisfying, without needing to pour in large amounts of oil. If you're concerned about butter burning at higher heat, you can easily turn it into ghee. Make it once, store it, and you'll have a heat-stable fat that lasts a long time, and still costs far less than buying avocado oil or pre-packaged ghee. 4. How to choose cheese. Costco's cheese section is a true maze of temptation. Long cases, attractive labels, and prices that look reasonable make it easy to toss a few items into your cart without much thought. But if you care about digestion and want to eat cheese in a more worth-it way, there's one detail you should prioritize from the start: raw milk. Most mass-market cheeses are made from pasteurized milk. While pasteurization improves shelf stability, it also removes many natural enzymes and beneficial bacteria that help with digestion. Raw milk cheeses are different. They retain a more natural structure and are often easier to digest, especially for people who feel bloated after eating cheese. At Costco, two cheeses especially worth seeking out are Pecorino Romano and Parmigiano Reggiano. Pecorino Romano is made from raw sheep's milk, with a bold, salty flavor that works perfectly shaved or grated over hot dishes. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy, typically aged 24 months, is made from raw cow's milk. Its dry texture and crumbly break instantly signal its maturity. This isn't just pasta topping. It's a highly absorbable source of protein and calcium, where a small amount delivers plenty of flavor. Here's an extra savings tip. Costco also sells Wisconsin-made Parmesan. It can't be labeled Parmigiano Reggiano because it's not imported from Italy, but it's still made from raw milk. In everyday cooking, the flavor difference is minimal, while the price is often about 1/3 of the imported version. And if you want to add a little curiosity to your Costco trip, keep an eye out for Jarlsberg. It's not a raw milk cheese, but it's famous for its exceptionally high vitamin K2 content. So high that it's become the subject of some amusing nutrition world anecdotes. One small study once made waves online by suggesting that men supplementing vitamin D and K2 noticed changes in size. How accurate that is remains debated, but Jarlsberg has since earned a playful reputation as a kind of confidence-boosting cheese. Like the video if this surprised you. 5. Identifying organic foods by label color. Walking into Costco for the first time can be overwhelming within minutes. Long aisles, massive selection, and labels packed tightly together. Reading every line of fine print on packaging is the fastest way to get exhausted. But there's an unspoken rule that lets you filter products quickly, especially when the store is crowded. Look for green, skip white. At Costco, all organic items use green price signs, while conventional products use white labels. That's it. No need to bend down to search for certified organic. No need to linger in the aisle. Your eyes scan for green, your hand grabs the right item, and you move on. This trick is most powerful in the produce and dry goods sections. Apples, grapes, leafy greens, seasonal fruit. If the price sign is green, you instantly know you're looking at a different tier. For dry goods like raisins, dates, oats, or nuts, green labels make it easy to spot organic options among rows of nearly identical packaging. Why prioritize green labels? In the US, organic isn't just a marketing term. It comes with strict standards that reduce or eliminate pesticide residues, especially glyphosate and certain synthetic fertilizers. Nothing is perfect, but this is a simple way to lower long-term exposure, especially for foods you eat week after week. 6. Organic frozen fruit. If you've ever hesitated in front of Costco's fresh fruit section because of the price, turn around and check the freezer right behind it. Those bags of organic frozen strawberries and blueberries may look unassuming, but they're among the best values in the entire warehouse. Prices often run around $3.20 per pound, nearly half the cost of fresh fruit on the shelf. In reality, frozen fruit is usually harvested at peak ripeness and then flash frozen. Many fresh fruits, on the other hand, are picked early to survive long-distance shipping and then ripen on the shelf. They may look good, but flavor and intensity don't always deliver. With strawberries and blueberries, the difference is especially noticeable in smoothies or when paired with yogurt. One large bag can last a long time without worrying about spoilage. You always have fruit ready for smoothies, oatmeal, or yogurt every morning. No constant grocery runs required. This is the kind of quiet, sustainable saving that cuts both cost and time at the same time. 7. Surprisingly affordable grass-fed ground beef. When shopping at Costco, many people walk right past the ground beef section as soon as they see those large 5-pound packs, thinking, "That's too much, I'll never finish it." But if you pause for a few seconds and actually look at the price tag on the 100% organic grass-fed ground beef, chances are you'll want to double-check what you're seeing. The price usually comes out to around $6.40 per pound for the entire pack. For organic grass-fed beef in the US, that number is almost hard to believe. For perspective, at many other grocery stores, regular ground beef, not organic, not grass-fed, already sits around $5 to $6 per pound. In other words, for less than an extra dollar per pound, you're moving into a completely different quality tier. What's interesting is that Costco doesn't aggressively promote this item. It's just there, quietly, without flashy signage. And that's exactly why so many people miss it. The 80% lean/20% fat ratio also gets misunderstood as too fatty. In reality, this ratio is incredibly practical for home cooking. Burgers stay juicy, pasta sauces turn naturally rich, and stir-fries don't require much added oil. With grass-fed beef, the fat isn't just about flavor. It also contains CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, a fatty acid often mentioned in diets that support weight management and muscle maintenance. What many families do is divide the 5-pound pack into 1-pound portions, wrap them tightly, and freeze them right away. One quick prep session gives you ready-to-use protein for multiple meals throughout the week. Tacos, meatballs, stir-fries, pasta sauces, without waste, and perfectly suited to a busy lifestyle. 8. Only buy air-chilled chicken. This is a tip most Costco shoppers miss. They see the word organic, toss it into the cart, and never read the smaller line underneath. In reality, many organic chicken packages still state up to 7% water retained, meaning the chicken was chilled by soaking in ice water treated with chlorine. Not very appealing, and more importantly, you're paying for water, not meat. Air-chilled chicken is different. Instead of being soaked, it's cooled using cold, dry air. The result is firmer meat, crispier skin when cooked, and a package weight that reflects actual chicken, not added water. Many people only notice the difference once they start cooking. Air-chilled chicken releases less liquid, doesn't shrink as much, and delivers much cleaner flavor. At Costco, the words air-chilled aren't printed boldly on the front. They're usually tucked quietly onto the label. If you don't look closely, it's easy to miss. And that's how many shoppers end up buying organic chicken while still losing value. When choosing chicken, don't stop at the organic label. Pay attention to how it's chilled. That's the difference between buying real meat and buying meat plus water. At Costco, remembering this one extra step can make meals taste better and treat your wallet more fairly. 9. Decoding Costco prices. Costco price tags aren't just there to show the cost. They're more like a treasure map for shoppers who know how to read them. Instead of focusing only on the big number, look at the last 2 digits. They reveal whether you should buy now or wait. Prices ending in .99 are regular prices. They look familiar, but that's also your cue to stay calm. This isn't necessarily the best moment to buy. Prices ending in .97 are the ones to watch. These are the manager's specials, quiet clearance items. No sale signs, no advertising. But once they're gone, they usually don't come back at that price. Endings like .49 or .39 are often manufacturer discounts, not Costco-driven markdowns. Still good, but not the absolute peak deal. And that tiny asterisk in the corner of the price sign? It means the item is being discontinued. If you like it, you need to decide fast. Next time you come back, the shelf may be empty. The interesting part is that Costco never explains these signals. That silence creates a gap between habitual shoppers and strategic ones. Remember just a few of these price cues, and you'll start to feel like Costco is talking to you through numbers. 10. Reverse shopping strategy. Costco doesn't arrange products randomly. Wide aisles, electronics, and clothing are placed right at the entrance to make you stop early and spend early. The longer you stay, the heavier your cart gets. And that's when it becomes easier to say yes to items that were never part of the plan. So instead of shopping on autopilot, try shopping in reverse. As soon as you walk in, head straight to the back of the warehouse. Skip the TVs, jackets, and home goods up front. Your first stop should be the $4.99 rotisserie chicken, followed by beef, eggs, and fresh foods. Once the essentials are already in your cart, your mindset shifts. You know the important part is done. The rotisserie chicken is the perfect example. It's cheap, versatile, and can easily turn into multiple meals. When it's already in your cart, you're less likely to get pulled into buying extra snacks or impulse foods just to try. And while you're there, if it's convenient, swing by the food court. Sometimes the $1.50 combo is cheaper than throwing together a rushed meal at home. This strategy doesn't make you buy less. It helps you buy the right things first. By moving against Costco's design flow, you stay clear-headed longer and keep better control. 11. Choosing safe cookware. Buying clean food but cooking it on cheap non-stick pans is like washing your vegetables carefully and then cooking them in dirty water. In Costco's housewares aisle, non-stick pan sets look appealing and are often labeled PFAS-free. But kitchen chemistry is rarely that simple. Instead of overthinking it, the safest move is to skip non-stick altogether and go straight to stainless steel. Stainless steel cookware from brands like Henkel's or Kirkland may not look as flashy, but it's durable and stable over time. Stainless steel doesn't peel, doesn't rely on coatings that raise concerns at high heat, and doesn't come with the risk of safe today, questionable years later. Many people worry that stainless steel is hard to use, but in reality, once you preheat the pan properly and use the right amount of fat, sticking becomes much less of an issue. What Costco does well is pricing. Stainless steel is often more affordable here than at specialty kitchen stores, while the quality is more than sufficient for everyday home cooking. It's a one-time investment that lasts for years, helping ensure your meals are clean, not only in ingredients but also in how they're cooked. If you care about what goes into your body, what you cook with deserves the same attention. 12. Choosing an air fryer. Air fryers have almost become a must-have appliance in many kitchens. Fast, convenient, and low in oil. It all sounds perfectly reasonable. But there's one detail very few people stop to think about. Most air fryers on the market use Teflon non-stick interiors. When repeatedly heated to around 400 degrees Fahrenheit, these coatings are no longer as inert as advertised, which is where concerns start to arise. The issue isn't the air fryer itself, it's the surface that comes into direct contact with your food. A brand new non-stick basket may be fine, but over time, scratches are nearly unavoidable. Once the coating begins to degrade, the question is no longer about convenience. It's about what you're actually heating your food in. This is where Costco gets interesting. Among rows of conventional air fryers, alternative options are starting to appear. A standout example is the Ninja Crispy, which uses a glass bowl instead of a non-stick coating. It may look unusual at first, but the logic is simple. If there's no coating, there's nothing to flake off. Glass handles heat well, don't absorb odors, contain no PFAS, and offer greater peace of mind for long-term use. Beyond glass, some models at Costco also use stainless steel baskets. They may not be as sleek or glossy as non-stick, but in exchange, you get durability and long-term stability. More importantly, the price difference between these options and standard air fryers is often minimal. Shopping at Costco isn't about buying more. It's about buying the right way. Each small tip helps you avoid paying for things that don't add real value. When applied together, grocery costs drop noticeably while meal quality stays the same. Costco isn't hiding secrets. Most people just don't slow down enough to notice. And the smartest shoppers are the ones who move a little slower, but leave the warehouse with a more sensible cart. Which money-saving tip in the video surprised you the most? Do you think you're choosing safe foods at Costco? The reality is that some items look harmless, even marketed as healthy, yet may quietly wear down your body over time, especially for seniors. Warehouse employees have warned about these products, and the item at the top of the list could already be sitting in your kitchen right now. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 10. Annie's Organic Bunny Fruit Snacks. Looking at this colorful box of bunny-shaped fruit snacks, it's easy to believe you're choosing something safer for yourself or for your grandkids. The bold, organic label on the front gives many people a sense of reassurance. But when you turn the box around and carefully read the ingredient list, the story is far less sweet than it appears. Despite the organic label, this product can still contain synthetic food dyes such as Red 40 and Yellow 5. Additives that have sparked controversy and, in some European countries, require warning labels due to potential effects on behavior and attention. For older adults, the body's ability to process and eliminate these additives isn't as strong as it once was. What seem like harmless colorings may trigger mild inflammation, headaches, or allergic reactions, or even worsen joint pain in sensitive individuals. Even more concerning is the sugar content. A small pouch can contain as much sugar as a dessert, yet it's disguised behind fruit imagery and the word organic. This is not dried fruit. It's not whole food. It's sugar and flavoring dressed up in bright colors. Face the truth. Real fruit never has an almost endless shelf life or unnaturally vivid colors like that. Annie's has been clever in its wording, influencing customers to believe they're making a better choice for their families when buying these oversized boxes. In reality, it's candy-coated in a health halo. Spending a few extra dollars on a label that says organic, while the product still contains modified starches, artificial flavoring, and sugar syrup is a waste of both money and trust. Costco employees know this all too well when they see shopping carts piled high with cases of these bunny-shaped gummies. 9. Prepackaged salad kits. Prepackaged salads sound like a perfectly safe choice. Leafy greens, low calories, convenient. Just open the bag, add the dressing, and you're done. But that very convenience is what prompts many warehouse employees to quietly warn customers. In reality, bagged salad mixes are among the most frequently recalled food items due to risks of listeria or E. coli contamination. The greens are chopped, pre-washed, and mass-packaged. Each step in the process creates another opportunity for bacteria to enter. And once contamination occurs, you can't detect it with the naked eye. What's more concerning is that older adults tend to have weaker immune systems. A mild infection for a younger person may mean a few days of discomfort, but for seniors, it can lead to dehydration, severe infection, or even hospitalization. There's another issue. Many customers report that the greens inside often become wilted, bruised, or watery within just 1 to 2 days, even before the expiration date. As the quality declines, bacteria have a more favorable environment to grow. And don't forget the dressing packet. Most contain high amounts of sugar, sodium, and preservatives to extend shelf life. You think you're eating a healthy salad, but you may be unknowingly adding unnecessary salt and sugar. Fresh salad isn't meant to sit for weeks inside a sealed plastic bag. Once greens are pre-cut, both their shelf life and safety are significantly reduced. 8. Fruity Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt already sounds healthy. High in protein, good for digestion, supportive of weight control. But the issue isn't the plain yogurt, it's the fruit at the bottom. Those colorful fruit on the bottom cups look appealing, but that fruit layer is usually not fresh fruit. It's often a thick syrup blend of sugar, coloring, and flavoring. One small cup can contain as much sugar as a can of soda. For seniors who are managing blood sugar levels, that's no small number. Thus, many people believe they're choosing a healthy snack, when in reality they're eating dessert in disguise. When sugar enters the body, it doesn't just affect blood glucose. It also contributes to low-grade chronic inflammation, something older adults often feel through joint pain, fatigue, and weight gain that becomes harder to control. There's also the addition of stabilizers and thickeners, such as modified pectin or gums to maintain texture and creaminess. For aging digestive systems that are already more sensitive, these additives may cause bloating, indigestion, or a heavy feeling after eating. Perhaps the most concerning part is the false sense of reassurance. You see Greek and protein printed boldly on the front, but very few people turn the package over to check the actual sugar content. True plain Greek yogurt has a mild tang, not a candy-like sweetness. If you want the probiotic and protein benefits, choose unsweetened plain yogurt and add fresh fruit yourself. One small cup a day may quietly shift the health markers you've worked hard to keep stable. 7. Bulk sandwich bread and pastries. The bakery section at Costco always smells irresistible. Muffins as big as your hand, pillow-soft sandwich bread, golden croissants, all packaged in large trays at prices that seem like an incredible deal. But this is one of the most subtle traps. To produce in bulk, keep baked goods soft for days, and ensure stability during transport, recipes often include more sugar, saturated fat, and moisture-retaining additives than necessary. Those oversized muffins can contain as many calories and as much sugar as a full meal. Yet because they're labeled breakfast, Many people unconsciously see them as a lighter choice. The second issue is portion size. When you buy a tray of 12, you're not just buying pastries, you're buying the pressure to finish them before they mold. And that "don't waste it" mindset leads many people to eat more than they normally would. For seniors managing weight, blood sugar, or cholesterol, this can quickly send health numbers in the wrong direction. Sandwich bread is no exception. To maintain softness and extend shelf life, many varieties contain added preservatives and hidden sugars. A single slice may seem harmless, but eaten daily, the refined carbohydrates and sodium add up, directly affecting blood sugar and blood pressure. On the surface, it's just bread and pastries. But inside is a formula optimized for shelf life, not long-term health. If you want baked goods, buy smaller quantities or freeze portions immediately after bringing them home. Like the video if this surprised you. 6. Almond milk/shelf-stable nut milks. Cartons of nut milk lined up neatly on the shelf. No refrigeration required, with expiration dates months away. It sounds incredibly convenient. But that variability to last so long is exactly what you should be questioning. Shelf-stable. Almond milk and other nut milks typically go through high-heat processing and contain added thickeners such as carrageenan, guar gum, or other stabilizing agents to maintain texture and prevent separation. These ingredients may sound harmless, yet they are often linked to bloating, indigestion, or intestinal irritation, especially in older adults. Another issue many people overlook is the actual percentage of nuts in the product. Many almond milks on the market contain very little real almond. Most of the carton is water, thickening agents, and flavoring. You may think you're drinking milk made from nuts, but in reality it's a diluted liquid reinforced with additives to look and feel like milk. For seniors with sensitive digestion or existing inflammatory bowel concerns, these thickeners may gradually worsen symptoms over time. Not everyone reacts immediately, but that bloated, sluggish feeling after breakfast could be coming from what seemed like a healthy glass of milk. In addition, many varieties contain added sugar to enhance flavor, especially vanilla or original versions. A safer choice is often refrigerated nut milk with a short, simple ingredient list and fewer additives. Or better yet, make it at home if possible. 5. Large buckets of mayonnaise and oversized condiments. When people see a 5-pound tub of mayonnaise or a giant bottle of condiments, the first thought is often, buy it once, use it all year. What a deal. But this is actually one of the most common traps for older adults. Mayonnaise is high in fat and highly sensitive to temperature, air exposure, and bacteria. Every time you open the lid, scoop some out, and close it again, you introduce more air and microorganisms into the container. Over weeks, even months, the risk of contamination increases significantly, especially if the jar isn't consistently stored at a stable refrigerator temperature. With an immune system that naturally weakens with age, even mild food poisoning can become serious. Diarrhea, dehydration, and infection. These are no longer minor issues later in life. There's also the calorie and fat factor. When you own a large container, you tend to use more. One small spoonful turns into 2, then 3. And mayonnaise doesn't just go on sandwiches, it makes its way into salads, dressings, and side dishes. Over time, that accumulated fat intake can impact cholesterol levels and weight. Other large sauces and condiments pose similar concerns. They often contain high amounts of sodium and preservatives to extend shelf life. When you buy industrial-sized containers, you're also buying the risk of waste and potential food safety issues. The price per ounce may be lower, but if you end up throwing half of it away because it expires, or worse, if it contributes to health problems, that deal loses its value. Sometimes choosing a smaller jar at a slightly higher price is the smarter way to protect both your health and your peace of mind. Bulk does not always mean wise, especially when fresh food and immune health should come first. 4. Kirkland Vegetable Oil Cooking Spray. The truth about Kirkland cooking spray goes beyond simple convenience. It's a clever psychological hook aimed at our fear of fat and our dislike of cleanup. When you press the nozzle to coat your pan with a fine mist, you may not realize you're triggering a potentially risky chemical reaction right in your kitchen. In addition to vegetable oil, these sprays contain propellants such as butane, propane, and isobutane. gases that create the pressure needed to release the mist. They're considered safe within regulated limits, but that doesn't mean you should inhale them daily in a closed kitchen. When sprayed directly onto a hot pan, some of the vaporized solvents and oil particles can disperse into the air. For older adults, breathing in concentrated aerosol propellants can directly irritate an already sensitive respiratory system. Tiny particles of butane and isobutane can travel deep into the bronchial tubes, potentially triggering dry coughing, chest tightness, or even asthma flare-ups. Symptoms many people would never suspect are linked to a kitchen helper. There's also the oil itself. Many products use soybean oil or highly refined vegetable oils that oxidize easily under high heat. Oxidized oils can form compounds that promote inflammation in the body when used regularly. Many Costco employees have quietly acknowledged that the smell released when using this spray often resembles industrial fuel more than the natural aroma of food. A clear red flag that our sense of smell tries to warn us about, but one we often ignore for the sake of convenience. Trading lung and digestive health just to save a few seconds of manually pouring oil is an expensive exchange. Convenience makes it easy to overlook how often you're using it. One spray sounds harmless, but if you cook every day, the cumulative exposure over time is not insignificant. There are simpler alternatives. Use a manual pump oil sprayer or brush on a thin layer of olive oil. You control the type of oil, and you avoid inhaling propellants altogether. 3. Kirkland bacon and processed meats. The smell of crispy bacon in the morning is hard to resist. And when you see a large package at a lower price per pound, it feels like a smart buy. But processed meats are among the most debated food categories when it comes to health, especially for older adults. Processed meats like bacon often contain nitrites and nitrates, preservatives that help maintain that appealing pink color and extend shelf life. When exposed to high heat, these compounds can form nitrosamines, substances that several international health organizations have linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. The issue isn't a single slice of bacon, it's the frequency. When you buy in bulk, you're more likely to use it often to justify the purchase. Bacon for breakfast, deli meat at lunch, a sandwich for dinner. Sodium and preservatives accumulate day after day. For seniors, high sodium intake means a greater risk of elevated blood pressure, fluid retention, and added strain on the heart and kidneys. Many people assume products labeled "no added nitrites" are safer. In reality, some still use celery extract or other natural nitrate sources, which can create similar compounds during processing. The wording on the packaging may change, but the chemical reactions in the body do not. Processed meats are engineered for durability, to retain flavor and last for weeks in the refrigerator. But your body isn't designed to handle those additives every day. As metabolism slows with age, eliminating these compounds isn't as efficient as it once was. If you truly love bacon, treat it as an occasional indulgence, not a staple in your shopping cart. The price per pound may be lower when you buy the family pack, but the potential cost to your health is far from small. 2. Processed frozen meals. If you think the previous items were concerning, processed frozen meals take the risk to another level. These products don't just contain one questionable ingredient, they combine high sodium, preservatives, and refined oils in a single convenient tray. And that very convenience can hide the amount of sodium capable of raising your blood pressure after just one meal. A single serving of a processed frozen meal can contain over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, nearly half of the recommended daily limit. And very few people stop at just one serving. Eat 2 portions, and you've easily exceeded safe levels without realizing it. For older adults, high sodium intake doesn't just cause temporary spikes in blood pressure. It leads to fluid retention, swelling in the legs, headaches, and a heavy, sluggish feeling after eating. Over time, excess sodium puts added strain on the heart and kidneys, organs that naturally decline in function with age. Sodium isn't added only for flavor. It's used to extend shelf life and mask average quality ingredients. Salt makes food taste better instantly, but the body pays the price later. The danger is that your taste buds gradually adapt. The more you eat high-sodium foods, the more low-sodium options start to taste bland, and the cycle continues. Many people assume that frozen means nutrients are preserved. That's true when it comes to whole foods like plain vegetables or unseasoned meat. But with processed frozen meals, you're not just freezing food. You're freezing the salt, preservatives, and refined oils along with it. Convenience comes at a cost. And in this case, that cost isn't just financial. It shows up in your blood pressure readings, lab results, and those bouts of unexplained fatigue. If you need something quick, choose whole frozen foods and season them yourself. Don't let a fast meal turn into long-term strain on your body. 1. Kirkland canned chicken breast and other canned meats. Don't let the lean appearance and the high-protein label on canned chicken, pork, or beef at Costco fool your eyes. Those metal cans lined up neatly on the shelves are not a quick-fix solution for a fast meal. In reality, they're chemical time bombs wrapped in aluminum and steel, quietly working against your body from the inside. The most shocking part isn't what you see on the label. It's what's hidden behind what's called industrial processing. This is the most frequently warned about item on this list, and the product many warehouse employees admit concerns them most when they see seniors buying it in bulk. At first glance, it looks almost perfect. High in protein, convenient, ready to eat straight from the can. But that convenience is exactly what makes it concerning. For meat to sit in a can for years without spoiling, manufacturers rely on high levels of sodium and added phosphate compounds to preserve texture and extend shelf life. A single small can can contain several hundred to over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. For older adults, that amount can significantly raise blood pressure after just one meal. Phosphates don't just help retain moisture in the meat. When consumed regularly over time, they can place added strain on the kidneys and may affect bone density. Symptoms such as fatigue, mild swelling in the legs, or muscle weakness are often attributed to aging. But sometimes the source is highly processed convenience foods like this. There's also the issue of the metal can lining, which may contain BPA or similar compounds used to prevent corrosion. Even if levels fall within regulatory limits, repeated long-term exposure is not something to dismiss casually. This isn't simply processed food. It's a combination of salt, preservatives, and metal packaging presented in the form of chicken breast. If there's one item on this list worth putting back on the shelf, it's this one. Convenience may save a few minutes today, but the hidden cost can extend years into the future. Costco isn't the problem. The issue lies in the choices placed in your cart. Many products that appear convenient, healthy, or budget-friendly may contain far more sodium, sugar, and additives than an aging body should handle daily. Don't let labels and bulk sizes mislead you. Read the ingredient list. Check sodium and sugar levels before deciding. Your health is worth more than any discount. Which warning in this video surprised you the most? Prices keep climbing, but not everything at Costco is getting expensive with the times. There are items that have held their price for decades, items that cost more now but are still the smartest choice, and even newer deals that, if you're not paying attention, can quietly save you hundreds of dollars a year. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Organic maple syrup. Did you know that a 33-ounce jug of organic maple syrup at Costco costs about $14.49? At first glance, that doesn't sound shocking. But if you've ever stepped into a premium grocery store like Whole Foods, you'll notice that a bottle half that size often costs about the same. What matters more is this. Heading into 2026, Costco is still sticking with grade A amber. Real maple syrup with a deep amber color and a natural aroma reminiscent of oak, early morning sunlight, and tree sap. Not that harsh, sugary sweetness you get from diluted, sugar-based syrups. At a time when many retailers are quietly switching to cheaper, maple-flavored syrups to cut costs, Costco's continued commitment to 100% organic maple syrup is a big deal. This isn't cheap because quality was cut. It's affordable because Costco sells in bulk, optimizes its supply chain, and accepts thinner margins. When you break it down by the ounce, Costco's maple syrup costs about half the market average, while the quality remains consistent and easy to verify. Another thing many people underestimate, real maple syrup goes a long way. You don't need to pour much to get full flavor and aroma. Beyond pancakes and waffles, it works beautifully for braising fish, marinating ribs, making salad dressings, or sweetening coffee and cold brew instead of white sugar. The sweetness is deep and smooth, never sharp or cloying. In the end, each use costs just a few cents. But what you get back is the feeling of eating real food, not processed sugar. 2. Almonds and mixed nuts. By 2026, eat clean is no longer a trend. It's a lifestyle. And almonds and nuts are now considered almost nutritional gold. If you eat nuts regularly, it's hard to ignore Costco's nut aisle. The key difference? The nuts are consistently fresh and crunchy, with no rancid oil smell. A common problem with supermarket nut packages that sit on shelves too long. Instead of spending nearly $10 on a tiny bag that lasts just a few days, a 3-pound bag at Costco for around $12 feels like a completely different value. Take it home, portion it into glass jars or zip bags, and stash them in your backpack, desk drawer, or car. Whenever mild hunger hits, a small handful is enough. No candy bars, no sugary snacks. What keeps people coming back is the consistency. The nuts aren't over-roasted, overly salty, or coated with artificial oils. They taste great on their own and work just as well mixed with Greek yogurt, oats, salads, or blended into smoothies. For anyone who works out, practices intermittent fasting, or needs a healthy snack during the day, this is a genuinely practical go-to. Nut prices at Costco over the past few years have actually been more stable than the general market, while many other retailers keep raising prices due to shipping and ingredient costs. When you do the math, each serving costs just a few dozen cents, but in return, you get healthy fats, protein, and long-lasting fullness, something ultra-processed snacks will never deliver. 3. Digital gift cards. If there's one deal at Costco that many shoppers walk right past without using, it's digital gift cards. They're not sitting on shelves. And there's no big sale sign, but this is one of the fastest and clearest ways to save real money. No waiting for promotions, no hunting for the perfect timing. You buy them, and you're saving immediately. The setup is simple. Costco sells $100 gift card bundles for airlines, Uber, Uber Eats, movie theaters, and major restaurant chains, but you typically pay only $75 to $80. That means the moment you check out, you've already pocketed $20 to $25 in savings without traveling anywhere or using the service yet. The key advantage is that this is real cash savings, not vague points or complicated cashback systems. These are expenses you already have: booking flights, calling an Uber, eating out on weekends. By simply changing how you pay, you get an automatic hidden discount without changing your spending habits. For families that travel often or groups that dine out regularly, the savings add up fast. Many shoppers use this trick to offset their Costco membership fee after just a few purchases. Buying a handful of gift card bundles over the year is often enough to see a clear return. That's why seasoned Costco shoppers always stop by the gift card rack before heading to checkout. They understand this isn't an extra purchase but a smart way to keep more money in their pocket. 4. Block cheddar and mozzarella cheese. One area where the price gap is instantly obvious is the block cheese section. At $7.50 to $9 for a 2-pound block of cheddar or mozzarella, Costco is aggressively undercutting most regular grocery stores. For the same weight, many retailers sell pre-shredded cheese at noticeably higher prices, often with quality that doesn't match. Lower price doesn't mean lower quality. Moving into 2026, Costco's cheese selection is even broader, especially when it comes to aged varieties with deeper flavor, rich body, balanced saltiness, and a clean finish. These are cheeses that taste great on their own and really shine when melted on pizza, pasta, or sandwiches. The real savings come from how you buy it. Purchasing block cheese and shredding it yourself can cut costs by around 40% compared to bagged shredded cheese. Pre-shredded cheese is usually coated with anti-caking agents to prevent clumping, which makes it melt less smoothly and dulls the flavor. Block cheese is fresher, melts more evenly, tastes cleaner, and lets you control the shred size depending on the dish. For families with kids who love grilled cheese, cheesy eggs, or sandwiches, or anyone who enjoys making homemade pizza on weekends, this is a very noticeable saving. Shred what you need for the week, wrap the rest tightly, and store it in the fridge. In the end, you spend a few extra minutes prepping, but get better tasting food and a noticeably lighter grocery bill. 5. Large sheet cake. Hosting a party for a few dozen people is usually when costs spiral the fastest, and cake alone can be enough to make many hosts hesitate. At Costco, however, the large sheet cake is a rare exception. Prices may have gone up, but the value is still incredibly hard to beat. Right now, a full sheet cake costs $24.99. That may not sound shockingly cheap, like it did years ago, but do a simple calculation. One cake can serve up to 48 people. That works out to well under 50 cents per slice for a soft, creamy vanilla cake with smooth frosting that's rich but not overwhelming. At that price point, it's almost impossible to find an outside bakery that can compete. The strength of Costco's sheet cake isn't fancy decoration or elaborate design. It's pure practicality. The cake is crowd-pleasing, suitable for everyone from kids to seniors. It's not overly sweet, not too heavy on frosting, cuts cleanly, and holds its shape well when served at large gatherings. That's why it's a go-to choice for birthdays, family parties, office celebrations, and big get-togethers where people want to keep costs under control. This year, Costco has made the process even more convenient. You can now order cakes directly via a QR code at the bakery counter. Choose the design, colors, text, and pickup time. No more waiting for an employee to write everything down by hand. The designs have also been updated to look cleaner and more modern, making them suitable not only for birthdays and anniversaries, but even for small, intimate wedding celebrations. 6. Rotisserie chicken. There's one item at Costco that you can spot instantly just by looking into other shoppers' carts. And almost every time it's the same thing, rotisserie chicken. No big signs, no sales pitch from employees. The rotisserie counter is always busy because this item is cheap and convenient and can solve an entire meal in minutes. The $4.99 price for a chicken weighing at least 3 pounds has remained nearly unchanged for years, even as food costs elsewhere have risen sharply. What many people don't realize is that Costco doesn't make money on this item. In fact, the company reportedly absorbs tens of millions of dollars in losses each year to keep the price low. Rotisserie chicken is a traffic driver. It brings shoppers back regularly, and once they're in the warehouse, very few people leave with just a chicken. Costco has also switched from rigid plastic containers to soft plastic bags, reducing plastic waste by up to 75% while doing a better job of retaining heat and moisture. The result is chicken that stays warmer and tends to be less dry than before. A meaningful improvement for shoppers who buy it to eat over several meals. In terms of flavor, Costco's rotisserie chicken isn't aggressively seasoned. It's mild, tender, and juicy. Lightly salted, it's good enough to eat on its own, but also perfect for shredding into salads, wrapping in tortillas, making soup, or mixing into fried rice. One chicken can easily stretch into 2 to 3 meals for a small family, or feed everyone in one sitting when paired with salad and bread. Like the video if this surprised you. 7. Kirkland Signature Vitamins and Supplements. As proactive health awareness continues to grow, more people are revisiting a familiar question. Taking vitamins daily can be beneficial, but do you really need to pay premium prices for them? That's where the Kirkland Signature Vitamin and Supplement aisle at Costco has become a regular stop for many American families. The first difference shows up in very concrete numbers. Popular products like omega-3, vitamin D3, and glucosamine at Costco often contain twice the number of capsules, yet cost about half the price of comparable products at drugstores or specialty supplement shops. What truly gives shoppers peace of mind is the USP seal clearly printed on the bottle. This certification means the product meets United States Pharmacopeia standards. The dosage matches what's listed on the label, purity is independently tested, and the benefits aren't exaggerated. In reality, many people have spent hundreds of dollars a month on heavily advertised supplement brands, only to realize the results weren't noticeably different. When they switched to Kirkland, they experienced the opposite. Fewer promises, but consistent use, long-term value, and a sense that the choice simply makes sense. 8. Kirkland Extra Virgin Olive Oil. When it comes to extra virgin olive oil, many shoppers feel confused. Prices keep rising, labels all look similar, and it's hard to tell what's truly pure and what's blended. With Kirkland Extra Virgin Olive Oil, 2 liters, at Costco, the picture is much clearer. Even though the price has increased to around $22 to $24.99 due to recent harvest issues in the Mediterranean, it remains one of the best value options for those who care about genuine quality. The key lies in the 100% purity commitment. While the broader market is flooded with blended or refined oils disguised as extra virgin, Kirkland maintains strict testing standards. The oil has a fresh, grassy aroma, a mild, peppery bite at the back of the throat, and a naturally smooth texture. Simply opening the bottle and comparing it to cheaper alternatives makes the difference immediately obvious. A 2-liter bottle may sound large, but it's surprisingly easy to use up. It works perfectly for daily salads, quick sautéing, and drizzling over pasta or toast. Some people even use small amounts for skin and hair care, since truly pure olive oil has no off smells or greasy residue. When you break it down by price per liter, Kirkland still comes out significantly cheaper than smaller bottles sold elsewhere, many of which cost more and are harder to verify in terms of origin and authenticity. 9. Costco gas. For many drivers, filling up gas is just a matter of convenience. But for regular Costco shoppers, it's one of the simplest and most consistent ways to save money. Over the past few years, Costco gas stations have become noticeably more efficient. You no longer need to dig through your wallet for a membership card in the cold or when you're in a rush. Just open the app on your phone, tap once, and start pumping. The real advantage is the price. Costco gas is almost always 30 to 80 cents per gallon cheaper than nearby stations. That may not sound dramatic at first, but over months and years, the savings add up fast. Filling a 15-gallon tank alone can save enough for a solid lunch at the food court. If you fill up once a week, those savings can easily cover the annual membership fee without a second thought. The trick to avoiding long lines is choosing the right golden hours. Before 9 a.m. or after 7 p.m., traffic drops significantly, pumps open up faster, and the process moves smoothly. Costco has also upgraded its pump recognition and one-tap payment systems, making wait times much shorter than they used to be. 10. Kirkland 5-ply stainless steel cookware set. If you've ever stood in front of a high-end cookware display and felt your jaw drop at price tags in the hundreds of dollars, you'll understand why the Kirkland 5-ply stainless steel cookware set is often described as a pleasant shock. 5-ply construction, the gold standard used by luxury brands like All-Clad for even heat distribution, excellent heat retention, and stable cooking performance, typically comes with a price tag north of $600. At Costco, you get a very similar experience for roughly 1/3 of the cost. Where this set really shines is in everyday long-term use. The 5-layer construction heats evenly from the base up the sides, preventing hot spots when searing, keeping sauces from scorching, and allowing soups to simmer steadily. The thick stainless steel resists warping, handles high heat well, works on all cooktops, and is oven-safe. This is the kind of cookware that makes cooking feel easier, because the heat does the work for you. What convinces many people to buy isn't just the price, it's the durability. Used properly, this set can last for decades, becoming more familiar and more satisfying over time. It's a long-term investment for the kitchen. Buy once, use it for years, and save money in the long run. 11. The $1.50 hot dog combo. Some things at Costco don't need advertising because everyone already knows them. And the $1.50 hot dog and soda combo is the clearest example. You might not plan to eat, but just walking past the food court and catching the smell of warm buns and grilled hot dogs is often enough to change your mind. What really stands out is that this price has been unchanged since 1985, despite decades of inflation and rising food costs. The appeal isn't about eating cheap to fill up. It's about feeling treated fairly. A full-size all-beef hot dog, a soft bun, and a refillable drink. No cutting corners, no gimmicks. At a time when a simple fast food meal can easily cost $10 to $15, the $1.50 combo feels like a reminder that some places still refuse to raise prices without reason. In recent years, Costco has also made the experience smoother. Touchscreen ordering kiosks reduce lines, speed up the process, and minimize crowding. You walk up, order, pay, and pick up your food in just a few minutes. Perfect for a quick bite before heading home or as a small treat for kids after a long shopping trip. This is an item Costco openly chooses not to profit from. They keep the price low to build goodwill, encourage loyalty, and make the food court a familiar part of the Costco experience. For many families, this $1.50 meal alone already feels like it helps justify the trip to Costco. 12. Kirkland French Vodka. If there's one bottle at Costco that makes people stop and double-check the price tag, it's the 1.75 liters Kirkland French Vodka. At around $19.99, the price sounds almost unbelievable, especially when it's sitting next to well-known premium brands in the liquor section. But what really makes this bottle stand out isn't just the low price, it's what's inside. In many blind taste tests, Kirkland Vodka has been rated as fully competitive with big-name labels like Grey Goose.